It's a beautiful day in the gamerhood, a beautiful day for my gamers.
Let's start singing
one. Could you be one? Sound of that thunder, but don't despair. This colony's breeding
he's
their
probably streaming
brothers.
right now. We're talking.
Could you be one? Could you be one? If the 80% mortality
you don't want us to talk, you gotta sit
you.
Let us
For
do
a few bucks a month, you can sign up and have the Hobbs kill you. So let's make the most of another Sunday. Brew up some coffee and play it my way. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my gamers? Won't you please, please won't you be my gamers?
All right, hey everybody. Welcome to Mr. Hobbs' Gamerhood Twitch Hobbs 665 for all you guys out there wondering. Today we are starting a new campaign because my players all killed themselves in the last one. It's taken us a week or few weeks, I guess, to decide what we were going to do. Really, that just means me deciding. But anyhow, this is it. Low Fantasy Gaming by Steve Grodzicki and Pickpocket Press. So a lot of people talk about, oh my God, Hawk, as soon as I start streaming, you moved in a completely different direction. So like, it's only like a corner of your head. Always streaming, I better sit in a different way than the whole time we set up the cameras.
That guy's a mess.
Anyway, I thought that it would be fun to show a session 0 and how ridiculous they can be or are, and see where it gets. Sean's giving me the look and picking his nose on camera. Love it. Thanks, buddy. Remember, people, wear your masks. Don't touch your face. All right, so I think our guys have made some characters. Maybe, we don't have any tokens or anything, so maybe we can just work on that as we go. There's an interesting I sent you guys, first of all, a gazetteer. All of you have access to the book. And then there was even like a session 0 part in one of these books, either Low Fantasy Gaming's or Midlands. Did you guys see it?
No.
Where we would talk about tone and all this interesting stuff. I bet you there's somewhere out there that you could find a place like a check sheet that you go off. You ever heard of that, Sean? Is there like a check sheet for session 0s?
Well, I'm sure there's templates out there that you could use. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never done it, and I did not prepare for that. But I did see when I was looking over Low Fantasy Gaming. What? Go ahead.
Fear the Boot, a long time RPG podcast, had what they call a group template, which is used for their session 0 games that come together with making sure everybody's on the same page. If that's something you want to reference, I imagine if you just Google Fear the Boot group template, it should probably come up.
Well, I was hoping to use the one in the Midlands book. Here it is.
Oh, I didn't know the Midlands had one.
Starting a new campaign. Holding a session 0 before kicking off an adventure can work wonders. The opportunity to have an open discussion about the upcoming campaign and what everyone would like out of it helps align expectations. Steve, well done. All right, so it talks about, and while we're doing that, I guess, did you guys pick pictures for your characters? I didn't look.
Negatory.
No, I don't even know how to do. How do you do that?
Oh, you would just pick one and put it in. Here's one for Gedwin.
Yep.
So on your character sheet, it says edit. And if you hit edit, then you'll see like a place that says avatar and then one to use selected token. So you would just drag and drop. And that. So we can, maybe I should show you all what we're talking about on Roll20s. Off to the tabletop. So I do have a sweet map here for
edit avatar.
Something.
Oh, so we just have to go find some image on the internet or something.
Yeah, unless you want me to do it.
No, I thought you were saying there was like they had some built-in images or something.
I know.
Yeah, just throw an image at me. You don't get to choose the way you look when you're born.
I see.
Well, that's why this is a game and not real life.
That's right, because you get to choose what you look like in a game.
So if you're
Yeah,
really
but that's-
bummed on how you look, Hawk,
that's-
you can
that's
change
stupid.
yourself in the game.
Nah, that's silly.
Oh boy.
I mean, if you're going to take that route, why can't I pick what my attributes are? So why can't I pick strength 18, dex 18, right? What's the difference? You don't get to pick that.
That is a good question. What do you think about
Damn
that,
right
Shonky
it is.
Kelly?
I think Hawk is just trying to be argumentative, and I'm going to ignore him going forward.
No, I'm
That
not
doesn't
actually.
sound like
I'm not
that.
actually. I'm not. I don't think you should in these games. I mean, if you're not going to let us pick our attributes, because I'm sure I don't play that many games, but I'm sure there's games out there where you can say, I'm the strongest character in the world, like you want to be a god or something, right? Is there games like that? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Sure.
there are.
Yeah, so then you have freedom to pick what you are, but I'm like, these are not those sort of games, right? So you can't pick what you look like. So I prefer the godlike character, the game master, to just pick what I look like.
I think it's,
It's
because
work.
I think it's just because he's lazy, everybody, actually.
I'm just assuming you have like a big pile of avatars somewhere, and I do not.
I do not. I would go and make one quickly, is what I would do.
Out on Thunder Island. Do-do.
All right. So, yeah. So, anyhow, I already decided what game we're playing. And I also sent everyone a Gazetteer by Complex Deer on the. He is on the Low Fantasy Gaming Discord, which I thought it would be cool. Then I didn't have to send you guys the whole Midlands book, and you could just check that out. Here it is, the Midland Gaz. I should open it up. If I was cool like Sean, I'd have a little area where I could open up stuff and you would actually see it. I should set one of those up so you can see what I'm looking at. All right, so how does this work, Sean? I've never really done a session zero like this. I've usually done session zeros by like through email or before the game actually starts.
So I think some of the things that you might tackle over email would probably not be out of line of doing via video or in person.
Yeah, I think it's we've been doing session zeros forever, really, but they weren't called session zeros and they didn't have a special session for them.
Right.
All right, so
You could then you tackle like outside a game, inside a game, things of that nature. So
all right.
this would be
So this says we're going to talk about genre, campaign style, GM style, deadlines, approach to rulings on specific topics, dice rolling protocols, character creation, house rules, and so on. Will help ensure everyone is on the same page. So we've already gone over character creation, and you guys have put your characters in, so maybe we should find out who those characters are. Do you want to start off?
I will start. My character is... Oh, you can't see this. Sorry. Tor Lumpkin, the cultist, follower of Baal.
Is it Baal or Baal?
I always pronounced it Baal, and because I'm trying to pronounce the two A's.
that
B-
might
weird
be-
accent.
Baal, guys. What do you think, Sean? How do
Yeah.
you pronounce it?
It's like Baal.
Oh, maybe.
Baal?
I guess it depends on what part of the country you're from.
Oh, boy.
I think the two A's are supposed to be pronounced separately. So Baal.
Aaron, what do you think?
I would go with Ball, but I also watched Stargate SG-1, so
I
That's how
can
they
change
pronounced it
to
on
Baphomet if that's better.
Baphomet?
Baphomet. Yeah, I can't pronounce that either.
I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. I've been pronouncing things wrong since the beginning of time, it seems like. So, Tor. What does Tor look like? What kind of armor is he wearing?
Tor is wearing. What the heck did I set up here? Sorry, I gotta look now. You're asking a lot of questions. Oh, where's my armor? Oh,
All
it's
right.
probably worn. Bone armor.
Bone.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna find a picture with fucking bone armor on. You're gonna have to draw it yourself, man.
All right. So bone armor. He's carrying a mace. No shield. Doesn't have any ranged weapons.
So Baal is the god of decay, disease, suffering, and death.
Yeah, and I remember when I was looking through the low fantasy gaming or reading about the different gods, before I read that, I was always like, oh, Baal, like I'd have to be an evil person and just be killing people and destroying everything I see. But then when I was reading the description in the low fantasy gaming, I'm like, oh, he's not such a bad guy. He's basically just like, look, if you deserve to die, then you should die. And if someone's, death worthy, then you kill him. And it also had like a weird, I don't want to look it up in the book, but
I can read it to you. You ready?
If I'm remembering correctly, doesn't it say somewhere in there, it says something about ridding the land of disease or something like that?
So
like it almost
Baal is the god of decay, suffering, disease, and death. His name is commonly uttered to ward off his unwanted attention. Baal is usually portrayed as a floating skull, a murder of crows, or an animate ooze. All right. So his related activities are funerals, executions, palliative care, which I don't even know what that means, ancestor worship, spreading or resisting disease, torture, managing or ending suffering. Baal's feast day is the Day of Dust. Common phrases: no life without death, bones and dust, blood and rust. All are equal before Baal and Baal's balls.
Yeah, baby. You're going to hear me say that about 1,000,000 times.
And I was told when this character was made, the reason he chose it is so he could say Baal's balls. And that's the only reason. All right. His tenets are: pray for the departed, heed the suffering of others, end those that deserve death, purge the undead and the demon wherever they roam, stifle disease, and it is blessed.
There, that's what I meant.
It is blessed.
Stifle disease.
It is blessed to repurpose that which is in decay. So pretty interesting there.
Yeah, so this guy doesn't seem as bad as, I guess I thought of him more as like a evil, kill everybody sort of a god, but he's not so bad.
There could be cults that are like that.
Right. Cults that have strayed from the path, but
yeah, or have their own ideas of how it should be.
I'm more of an orthodox Baal follower.
Oh, I thought it was Baal.
Baal, that's what it is.
So why'd you just say Baal?
I don't know how it's pronounced. Baal. Baal's balls. Yeah, I'm going to be saying that a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's not as cool, I think, when you break it out to Baal, honestly. I just like Baal's
balls. Balls. But if it's pronounced ball, then it comes out as balls.
Yes,
balls,
I know.
balls.
That's why I was like surprised when you said you wanted to do that. I was like, what?
Balls.
Balls. Balls. Baal's balls. Oh,
Baal's balls. Baal's balls.
All right,
that's a tricky one.
Let's move on.
Sorry. Let's move on.
Who's next? It looks like we have Sean, and his name is currently pending. I like that.
It's not pending.
It's a pretty name for a girl.
It's in there.
I know. I'm just kidding. That's what I have on the Twitch stream, pending.
Pending. I gotcha.
Oh, wait a minute.
I'm playing Duchess.
Everybody's a female but me? What the hell, man?
Playing Duchess. Female rogue.
Is that your favorite character class, Sean?
I have been known to play a rogue or two in the past. I don't know if it would be my favorite, but it's.
I feel like every time your first character you made for Days of Elysium, rogue,
was a rogue. Yeah.
You played the rogue when you played the one shot in low fantasy gaming before, and I mean I've played like 4 games with you, and 3 of the games you've been a rogue.
Fair. The second time with the one shot that you ran for, was it a con game?
No, that was the
Something maybe?
charity game.
That's right. But, and that, I had to pick from a few. So that's the flexibility that I had to play whatever I wanted was a little limited.
Yeah, that's right. Because you don't always
like
get to
rogues.
play what you want.
Yeah, I like rogues. But I'm not adverse to playing in any other class either. I figured, why not? And I don't play female characters too often either.
All right. So what? I'm assuming Duchess has a real name.
Maybe. But everybody knows her as Duchess or the Duchess.
The Duchess? That seems a little weird. Maybe not. I don't know. Does it seem weird? What do you think, Sean? Does it seem weird?
Does it seem weird when you're playing a fantasy role-playing game? I'm not quite sure.
I don't know either. There we go. That looks better. All right. So you guys see in the Midlands Gazette. Oh, maybe we'll do that later. So what else do we need to know anything else about Duchess? Did you find a picture?
That is uploaded as well.
Yeah.
Nice. I will grab it.
Are you in Roll20 there, sir? Or just
I'm in about 25 different things.
That's fine. Just curious.
He's still in Days of Lyncium.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on over there. That's okay. Yes, it's uploaded there, Mr. Hobbs.
She has nice green eyes.
Beautiful green eyes.
I don't know if that's quite the most accurate portrayal, given that her charisma is 7, but
I don't think charisma is solely denoted.
it is not solely on looks. No.
Yeah. I don't like that. So
She just has probably a pretty shitty personality, is my guess.
yeah, resting bitch face.
Probably, yeah. I always kind of wanted resting bitch face, actually.
I think you do have it.
I might be getting that as I grow older, honestly.
All right.
No, that's called crow's feet.
That's right. I don't want to talk about growing older.
Oh, that's right. Aaron just had a birthday recently. Everybody.
Hey, happy birthday!
Oh my god.
Turned 75.
Look at that guy.
Oh my
Looking
god.
fantastic. It's
Why, thank you.
Jimmy Carter just had a birthday too. He's
96,
like 90.
96.
Looks
man.
fantastic.
I didn't know he was still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Oh, but I look that good at
Isn't-
96.
doesn't- he
Oldest
still
living
build
president
houses for
ever,
him?
actually.
What?
Doesn't he still build houses for Habitat for Humanity?
He did like
South
2
Texas.
years ago, I think. I don't know if he's done one recently, but he was pounding a nail into a piece of wood as
Freaking
recently as
90
2 years ago. Yeah.
Well,
Fuckers.
he's got to be like super slow at that, and they're all just, you know what? Leave him be. He's a former president.
Yeah.
Without
That's a long Secret Service detail there.
Holy
No
shit,
kidding.
there it is.
That guy's like, geez, I should have been on some young guy by now.
Wait, you got the Secret Service walking behind him with walkers. They're just
Yeah.
Hey. We do not discriminate by any age.
We're making fun of the Secret Service. It's all good.
that's just exactly what we're doing.
All right,
sure they're
Duchess is on the map. That's exciting. All right. I guess Aaron, who are you playing?
Yep, I'm playing Gedwin. We got to figure out. And I downloaded. I found a free PDF of Low Fantasy Gaming. So I was scanning through that. So
I sent you a PDF of Deluxe Low Fantasy Gaming. I sent it to everybody.
Deluxe. Ooh.
When we were talking about playing this. Pretty sure.
is that what the character's from? Because this is, I guess, so that may actually answer my question. For some reason, I thought that was the thing that went with the other thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, all the sense in the world, sir.
Let's see. All right. Well, this is better than the piece of shit that I downloaded. So,
Hey! That's the original Low Fantasy Gaming. No piece of shit. We're just kidding, Steve.
I say that only because I didn't see Monk in the copy.
Yeah,
that I
that's a new
downloaded.
class.
And
That's a new class.
I see that it's in there, so we're all good, because that was going to be my question: is what do we do if it's not in there? But it is in there, and so what Gedwin is a monk. It is, you can kind of picture here for her, in terms of background. We're talking about more of a Celtic style martial arts, and in terms of physical appearance, up and down her arms are going to be tattoos that depict the different techniques and skills that she needs to be able to do. Each time she learns something new, there's a new tattoo.
Interesting. All right, I will make you a thing. I just realized that I hadn't fixed. Just making everything look pretty, which I should already have done, of course, but sometimes I'm not as good as I should be.
A horse is a horse. Of course, of course.
Her preferred weapon is a spear, but you're going to picture it less like frontline cavalry opposition and more like Jet Li style usage.
Right. That'd be awesome.
Essentially a knife on the end of a pole.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to that.
So one of the reasons, maybe we should take a break from that momentarily and talk about genre. This is obviously a fantasy game. They consider it low fantasy because it is has dangerous magic and more of a gritty feel. It's not really low fantasy compared to, say, BX or some of the old games, but it certainly is low fantasy compared to 5e. That's genre. The campaign style. I notice that sometimes we can get dragged down by a full-fledged sandbox. So it's going to be kind of sandboxy, but at the same time, I'm also going to try to do a little more leading you guys some. So slightly less maybe player agency as far as that goes, and more explanation and kind of clearer direction is one of the things I was hoping to do. Does anyone have any comments on that? Aaron, what do you think about that?
So we'd be potentially slightly less at risk.
No, you're never going to be less at risk because of that. But you maybe it'll just be more of a railroad or like a story that is placed,
yes,
as opposed to going crazy. The risk part is something else entirely. This game system is made to be more survivable than OSE, the game we were playing last. And that's because of exploits and some different things that it has available. And we'll get into all that. All right, so I'm adding the Gedwin token.
Gedwin is a good win.
Hey, I got a question for you, Aaron. Did you write a write-up of the final session of?
I think so.
Maybe we should let the listeners know what happened in Days of Lyncium, and I will find a token for Hawk. If you want to do that.
Yeah, let me find it here.
This should be good.
Well, we'll see. I said I think so. So we'll.
He threw it away already.
Yeah, this will be brief. No, it's here. It's here. So it's keeping in mind that that we were in dire straits at the end of the final session. We were buried. I give a little context for folks. So we were in caverns under a lake, and had been fighting the fishmen. And while we were victorious, things had gone poorly. So we had, I think, 3 remaining members of the crew, 4, and but 2 of them were former henchmen. So this is where it begins. A cairn is erected for Cedric was our cleric, before the group heads out the northmost exit. They follow along a wall in the dark as they are unable to see. They are ambushed by fishmen in the darkness. Jord is killed, Thelonious cuts and runs, and Ruxus is cut down but not out, saved by his chainmail but grievously wounded. Medcox manages to kill his attacker. He and Ruxus cut away from Jord and move away along the wall. They find another chamber opening, but as they begin to explore it, the remaining fishmen catch up with them, and they fall against the tridents. Thelonious finds his way to the surface and walks his way back to Lyncium to be confronted by the assassin just outside the city gates. End close scene.
Very nice.
Yes, good work. Thank you for that. All right, this is the token I chose for you there, Hawkster.
Real hammerhead, huh? Ooh, my token's gigantic.
That's what she said.
Oh, God.
Indeed. Ah, there we go. Right.
All right, so that is all finished. Thank you then for letting people know since we did not record that. All right, so next is GM style, campaign style, GM style, including the possibility of rotating GM. So we probably won't do that with this campaign, but who knows? Maybe we'll be playing Rime of the Frost Maiden with Sean Kelly on this channel on Sundays in the near future. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, to talk about the deadliness of low fantasy gaming. So this game allows for exploits, which are pretty darn cool. Sean is familiar with those, but Hawk and Aaron are not. So exploits are basically adding narrative coinage or narrative emphasis to combat. And one of the exploit is called a rescue exploit. So not even on your turn, you can choose to do a rescue exploit to help one of your companions. And what that means is you have to be within 30 feet. You have to make a dex check, and then you have to make a luck test modified by one of your abilities. So, and if every time you succeed a luck test, your luck goes down. So that's one of the reasons the game is more survivable. It also has the roll the body, similar to what we were doing with the death save. Hawk, I think your mic is like scraping on something again.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's a hot mess over there. Talking during the intro. He's that one student, man. You gotta
Kind of high quality entertainment they can come to expect.
It's the online environment. This is not natural for me.
Not natural.
Hey, Maltworm,
Plus this damn
what's going
mic,
on, buddy?
I can't get this mic to get away from my face. It's like stuck in my beard.
Oh God.
Shut it, Kelly.
Maybe
Mort.
if you cleaned it once in a while.
So right now we're internationally known, boys. We got Bruce Cunnington signing in from across
Brucey,
the
baby.
pond. Nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It is exciting, isn't it?
It is.
No one really cares about Maltworm, Stu, but we all care about Bruce Cunnington. I'm just kidding, Stu. You probably left already anyhow. All right.
Stu, you old.
No, he's still here. Good. This is low fantasy gaming is what we are playing. And this is our session 0. We're just starting. This is, I put session 1 on there, but really it's kind of session 0. So did you see what Stu said?
Of course I did.
Good. A successful podcaster. You're talking about Aaron Wade, I think.
Hey man, I didn't say anything. Checks in the mail, buddy.
All right, so hopefully that style will make me be able to run my normal game, and you guys, Hawk, still be able to have surviving surviving characters. This still uses up resources, so there will come a time when you aren't going to always be able to do rescue exploits. It may fail on you. So deadlines, we're going to say we should know by Wednesday if we're going to make it or not. So if you don't say you're not going to make it by Wednesday, then you're expected to be at the game. So that's just the way that it works. So we don't have.
Unless there's like a family emergency or
some
something.
kind of emergency
right?
is different, yeah. But let people know as soon as they can so they can make adjustments in their schedule. I'll probably be the worst one, other than Bird, but I'll probably be the worst one. So we'll try. I will attempt to be better at that as well. All right, deadlines. Approach to rulings on specific topics. So this is asking like, how do the GM adjudicate stealth or different things? So one of the things about low fantasy gaming that I've found to be kind of a sticking point is there's a couple, like some of the skills. Skills are really simple in low fantasy gaming. It's not a unified mechanic for you, Hawk. Sorry, buddy. But what it does do is really simplify skills. It's not that much different than BX in the way that it's roll under and it's going to be attached to an attribute. So like if we're looking at your character sheet and I said make a dex check, I'm not usually going to say that though. What I'm probably going to say is make an acrobatics check or something. But acrobatics is dex. So Hawk, what's your dex on Tor?
I think it's 8.
Nice. I like it. All right. So if you actually had acrobatics, you would need a 9 or less to be successful. So it gives you a +1. And if you have the skill that is actually being asked for, you can also use your reroll pool to reroll that roll. If you don't have the skill, you would just make a dex check and it would be 8 or less for success, and you wouldn't be able to use your reroll pool. Does that make sense?
Sure, but I'm sure I'm going to forget that.
That's no problem. It's all wrapped into the character sheet, so it's not going to be that tough for you all.
How do you generate rerolls?
So you would just say, "Hey, I'm going to use my reroll pool," and then you would just roll it again.
But right now it just says 0. Is there some value we're supposed to get at the beginning, or?
Let me look. What are you looking at? Your character sheet. So let's look at his character sheet.
Reroll pool just says 0. 0 right. Current, 0 max.
So the reroll pool is your level. So you have 1.
Oh.
So you change your current to 1, your max to 1. Your luck should be 11. So you may want to put your maxes in here because your attributes can change throughout the game. So put your maxes and your current score.
I gotcha.
Otherwise, you may forget what your max is. So you have these skills here, and now this game also uses advantage. So what that means is you'll just roll 2 dice, and they'll take the best one for that specific task, and if it's advantage, or the worst one if it's disadvantage. All right, so another thing that this does is it gives you levels of success. So maybe we'll look at someone's character sheet. I could actually do that if we wanted to.
Yep,
you guys out there want to look at a character sheet? We can look at Hawks and see how jacked up it is.
Thanks for that vote of confidence.
Oh, nope, I can't look at a character sheet because I don't have one in this setting. Oh well, maybe next time, guys. Maybe next. I think I did some videos about it if you really want to check it out. So insight, and this is always one of them. Insight versus like perception or some different things. I don't necessarily know. Sometimes more than one skill is going to be apply, and basically however you define what you're going to do is which one we'll use. Does anyone have any questions? There's only like 12 skills, right?
Right.
18 more, I guess, but.
Is there, you were talking about exploits earlier.
Yeah. Is
there like a list of exploits, or this is just like you make it up on the spot?
You make it up, and the exploits are, we can go to that. It's in, if you look at the deluxe book,
Yeah.
Exploits are in the combat. Yeah, combat, martial exploits. It's page 73. So exploits really are like, I want to do something. So you have minor exploits and major exploits. Minor exploits are limited to one target and have an instant or short duration, like 1 round or less. So, like if you want to push somebody or trip them, try to disarm them or grab them or throw sand in their eyes, or any of those things would all be wrapped into minor exploits. And I'll basically make a judgment call on what's minor versus what's major. And I think the most important things to remember about those two things are affect one target and instant or short duration. So like if you're trying to do something that would be a longer duration, like I want to cut the tail off of the giant scorpion, definitely a major exploit. I want to permanently blind someone, major exploit. If I want to just throw sand in their eyes and blind them for 1 round, minor exploit. And so the way you adjudicate the exploits is for minor exploits and major, most of the time you're going to have to hit and attack. I mean, you're going to have to hit and do damage. And so then to see if the exploit happens, then it's going to be like an opposed roll. Like it explains a opposed strength check to knock an opponent off of his feet or drive him backwards or throw him through a window or something like that. So that means you would make a strength check and I would make a strength check. And in low fantasy gaming, like I said, there's tiers of success. So every time you make a skill roll, you have there's 4 things that come out of that. You can either have a total failure, which is like a failure well above the roll you're trying to make, a failure, a success, or a great success. And the character sheet defines that for you. It's basically like if your stat was a 10, to have a great success, you're going to need a 5 or below. To have a success, you're going to need between 10 and 5. To have a failure, it's going to be like 10 to 13, I think. And then a total failure is anything above that on the D20. And it'll say right when you make the roll what happens or how that works. So major exploits, like I mentioned, are like trying to do extra damage or the examples in the book are spearing a Tyrannosaurus in an eye, finishing off a fearsome witch hunter by trampling him with a horse and carriage, making wild swings with a cold iron flail to drive away 3 shades clustered around a fallen ally. So, and when you try to do a major exploit, you have to hit, do damage, then you have to... all these things you're going to have to narratively explain and they make sense in the story. And then you actually have to make a luck check modified by whatever stat you want. So I've mentioned luck a couple times. So luck is a figured characteristic. So it's 10 plus half your level. So all you guys are going to start with 11 luck. Every time you succeed a luck check, your luck goes down by 1. And when you make a luck check, you're going to see on luck, there's going to be a drop down box, and then it can be modified by one of your statistics. And I'm going to tell you which one is going to modify it for that. A luck check is also a saving throw in this game. So if you get poisoned, I may say make a luck con check. Well, if you succeed, you're not poisoned, but your luck goes down by 1. So every time you make a luck check, be it a saving throw, exploit, versus madness or anything like that, your luck is going to go down by 1 every time you succeed. If you don't succeed in a luck check, you don't lose the luck point. If you fail in an exploit, you cannot do another exploit to that particular enemy or NPC in that scene until something specifically changes. And if you fail terribly on an exploit, like if you try to do a rescue exploit, like, Tor is going to try to knock Gedwin out of the way. Well, both of you guys might get hit or something. It's just going to depend on how the narration works.
So you're saying like every time you succeed on a luck check, it goes down. How do you regain that? Like short rest, long rest sort of stuff?
Okay, so this game does have short and long rests. But a short rest can be done anytime after a significant combat. And you can only, well, I shouldn't say, there's only 3 short rests between long rests. But long rests are like extensive time of hanging out in a town or some, like it could be 6 or 7 days. It's not just one night is a long rest.
But that's how you regain luck.
One of the ways. So when you take a short rest, you actually have an option. You're basically going to be able to use 3 pertinent or rests that matter in between a long rest, and you're going to choose how many checks you're going to make, because during a short rest you can regain class abilities, you can regain a portion of your hit points, and you can regain luck, I believe. Let's look. Maybe I should look this up for sure.
Let's take a look.
Let's look here. All right, injuries. Here we go. Short rests, 81. All right, after at least 1 meaningful combat, the GM determine what constitutes that. An adventurer may spend a few minutes recovering and tending injuries before pressing on. Walking and light duties may be performed during this period. Each time a short rest is taken, 1 or more will checks may be made. Each successful check allows the character to gain 1 short rest benefit as outlined below. Recover half of any lost hit points plus con bonus. Recover 1 use of an expended class ability. Recover 1 reroll pool die. So luck must be under long rests. Yep. Oh.
Okay.
But it says all attribute point. You recover 1 point of luck per long rest. Oh, we lost Sean. Oh, he's back.
Sorry about that.
No problem. So what that means is when I talk about checks, you're going to choose. You can either take 1 check, 2 checks, or 3 checks.
What about a mic check?
Mic check. You can take that anytime. All right. Yeah. Only. Okay. This is saying only 3 short rests may be taken per 24-hour period. And we'll start with that, but I don't know if that'll be too many. Because in my Midlands game, it's by it's other ways. So it's only once per session. You can only do 3 per session because this, it doesn't have that. It's more of an episodic game than a serial game where everything ties into each other. So when you when you take a short rest, there you get 1 rest gants, 3 will checks, 2 will checks, or 3 will checks, and then you have to make those will checks in order to get any of those things. Do you understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you fail on your will check, you don't get anything from the short rest.
Gotcha.
And additionally, an adventurer gains a bonus number of will checks equal to his con modifier. So you can add that con modifier into any of those that you choose. All right. Does anyone have any other questions right now? Let's go back to the session 1. All right, dice rolling protocols. Everyone's going to roll everything on the thing like always. We already did character creation. I don't have any specific house rules. I think that's about it. So let's take a bio. We're halfway, maybe-ish. Let's take a bio, and I'll get another cup of coffee. And you guys can talk to our fantastic viewers if you show desire.
Man, my camera is totally locked up on Twitch.
And on Discord.
It is on Discord?
Yeah, I can't see it. Just spinning lights.
What the hell, man?
You see. Yeah.
Should I close it and
There you
restart
go.
it maybe?
No, we see you now. I see you now.
I don't. It's weird.
Oh, well, I better go visit the little boy's room.
Left my vanilla Coke in the freezer for too long. Now parts of it are slushy and frozen. Because I know you guys wanted to know. Everybody holding up? Doing okay? Getting some gaming in? Maybe. Man, I got to kick this stuff, Mark. Let me tell you. I took a break from it for a little while, and then I started again. I think yesterday I was gaming. I drank 3 20-ounce vanilla Cokes. Not good. For my sugar intake. Yeah, Diet MD, man. Diet stuff's kind of a killer too. I'm glad you kicked it. It's not easy. I don't envy anybody trying to kick sugar. So I think it's worse than some of those drugs out there that people get addicted to. Yeah, water's great. Energy squirt bottle, yeah. I sometimes thrown in. I used to do the Mios. Like you'd squirt the liquid flavoring in there. That would be good. They're sometimes pretty low calorie and no sugar, and some you can get with caffeine. So that's always nice. I might go back to those. But yeah, I need to. Yeah. What flavor do you got, Mark? I used to like the strawberry kiwi. One of those would create too much acid in my stomach. Talking about kicking soda, Hobbs.
Yeah, I don't do that anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna kick soda, sugar, and dairy. I want to try to kind of kick to the side.
Congratulations to Mark, though. Oh,
yeah,
dairy
that's
too,
hard.
Huh?
Kicking Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Cherry's good. Some of those give me rot gut because they're too acidic. Like it's like drinking orange juice, a gallon of orange juice, and having your stomach not get crazy. We'll see. I drink Crystal Light, the orange citrus flavor with caffeine, along with is it Metamucil, the fiber?
Are you serious? You're that
Yeah.
old? Damn.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily bad at any age. Yeah. Well, say what you want, man. I take it because I drink too much sugar, and then what happens is our diets have changed so much over the decades and years that I think we're lacking some things, specifically like as it relates to arteries, the hardening of arteries and things of that nature. So fiber, I think, is supposed to curb that and
Clear you out.
yeah. Anyways, this has been Diet Talk.
That's right.
Bye.
That's right. I'm fortunate that my taste as I've gotten older runs more towards bitter. So I put sugar and cream in my coffee, but I haven't realistically drank pop in years.
Me either.
But I mean, not because I'm trying to kick it, just ain't for me.
Yeah.
I was
all right, Mark. Mark's taking off.
Oh, he'll be back. We'll still be playing by the time you get done. Although he starts at 10 now.
Oh.
All right, Mark. Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
How do you guys like this picture of Hawk right here we got going on the stream?
He was just complaining.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, now you've freed up.
Did it?
You're all over the place, buddy. You're a mess.
I don't think I've ever had this problem before, have I?
Are you running Discord in the browser, Hawk, or are you using the app?
No, it's the app. Right? That's the preferred way to run it, isn't it?
That's how I run
Not
it,
for
but
me. I can't. It tanks
got a
my
Mac,
shit too
though.
much. I don't know what it is.
You think it's better to run it out of the browser?
I don't.
I was running some streams and including this one, I think one week, and the app was just hammering my CPU and memory so hard I just couldn't. It was getting choppy and shit canned it all together. So I abused the browser.
Abuse the browser.
Oh goodness.
Well, now I got a stupid expression on my face on Twitch.
Well,
I look
that's
like
not.
That's
working
not
now.
Twitch's fault.
Yeah, it's just fine now.
No, it's not. I'm looking at Twitch and I'm locked up.
Yeah.
No, I know, but the expression doesn't have anything to do with it.
Shut up, Kelly.
Really took him longer to figure that out than maybe it should have.
Oh, God.
Down at Thunder Island.
Hey. Watch it. Dang it,
Oh,
I just realized that
violating some sort of.
2, 3, go.
I just realized I never got my Port Brax map in here. So for now, we're just going to have to talk about it.
You mean a theater of the mind?
Indeed, sir. All right, so we have some time. Do you guys want to get going on a game? We actually want to play a little bit today.
Why'd you get rid of gunpowder?
Because the last time that gunpowder was for a different setting, which was set more in the 17th century, where this is much farther in an earlier time era.
Oh, I see. See, I thought we were still in that pirate age, but you had just thrown gunpowder out.
No. That was my own setting. That Vanity of Man is my own setting. This is the Midlands setting, which is by Steve Grodzicki.
All right, baby.
Here's the book. The Midlands. This is actually the book that brought me into Pickpocket Press stuff. I was really interested in the setting as opposed to the game system itself. But then I got into the game system too, so pretty dang good game. So
All right then.
So I'm calling it the Chronicle of the Cursed Axe, but I don't know exactly when the Cursed Axe is going to show up. But when it does, we can all be very excited.
All right. I will wait for that moment.
I think we covered everything in the... Does anyone have any questions about the game?
I mean, I have questions, but I'll wait until the stuff starts and then I'll ask.
What about Session 0 stuff? Does anybody have any questions about that?
So this is, like, setting-wise, this is... Because, like I said, until, like, a couple minutes ago, I thought we were still doing pirates without gunpowder. So this is a traditional sort of a D&D setting, like...
It's the setting for this game. Maybe I should give you a... I mean, is there an overview in the Gazetteer? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I haven't read it. You sent it this morning.
Doesn't like to do his homework.
I mean, just, like, you don't have to give me a ton of details, but, like... But it would be similar to, like, Days of Lyncium as far as... Okay. That's what I'm asking.
At least as far as the technological level goes.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm asking.
But
okay.
there is a character that can affect technology stuff in this game. So you may yeah.
Okay. So they can, like, make gadgets, sort of a thing.
Yes, which one of the gadgets they make is a black powder weapon.
Oh, so there are black powder weapons.
Yeah, but those are only like, they're almost magical in their existence. They're not like everyone can get one.
I gotcha. So I'm not just buying it at the store.
Correct. It's more like a magical item, so to speak, in this setting. So here's the blurb on the Traveler's Guide. Argosa, or the Midlands, is a land fraught with risk and reward. Beyond the fortified walls of civilization, the wilds are dominated by man-eating scorn, ferocious beasts, and xenophobic barbarians. Though safer within walls, the cities too are dangerous. On the streets, life is cheap, while corruption, brutality, and exploitation are widespread.
Well, this sounds horrible.
Mm-hmm. So, as I mentioned, we're starting you guys in Crow's Rest, which is the seat of the Argosan culture, also known as the Midlanders. They're ruled by a king and court of hereditary highborn, vastly outnumbered by the growing underclass. They control Crow's Keep, Port Brax, and Northgate. You can see the 3 cities that are actually on the port or on the coast of Lake Argosa, that inner sea there. Those, by the way, those hexes are those squares are 10-mile squares. They make up the central basin referred to as the Midlands. Argosans are leaders in scientific advancement in the region, the sole producers of full plate mail and certain alchemical concoctions. They venerate 7 deities known as the 7 Ancients, and the highborn and lowborn alike partake in private prayer, public worship, celebrating at temples guided by ordained clergy. All right. So the nearby cultures would be the Nadicians to the south. They are the Nadician Empire. I think I have a little blurb here about Northgate that might help let you guys figure out what the hell is going on. Midlands. All right. Cities. We're not in Northgate. Crow's Keep, sorry. Crow's Keep. Crow's Keep is the Midlander capital, situated on a high plinth of rock overlooking the Great Lake, Forest of Drelnor, and the trackless moors to the south. Within these fortified walls, the elderly King Uldred holds court, thwarting the schemes of rivals while struggling to fend off incursions from Imperial Melek. Yep, this is LFG. I'm in chat now. The city is built in familiar Western medieval style, architecture reminiscent of the Middle Ages, with a moderate to warm climate. As might be expected, the most powerful noble families are here in great numbers, maneuvering for position before Eldred passes. The gods and their mortal representatives also wield great influence, with throngs of faithful attending the great temples, bolstered by the current tensions with Melek. Soldiers are prevalent, a necessity brought about by increased conflict with the Nadician Empire to the south. Contrary to the 20-year truce, escalating border skirmishes and trade sanctions are a cause of great concern. Many of the royal court consider Crow's Keep on the brink of war.
Well, we don't want to go there.
That's where the campaign is starting.
Oh, come on.
Yet here we are.
Yet here we are. And so there is a low fantasy tool that we can use to figure out how you guys know each other. So you guys pick. Hawk, you're the first person to my right. Why don't you roll? Oh, we have. Oh, okay. We could each roll 1 and then see. Who do you guys want to roll first?
Let's talk about that for 20 minutes.
All right, Hawk, roll a d20.
Just make a decision. Ba-boom.
What'd you get? A 10.
10.
All right, so this is interesting. You and get Aaron. What kind of character? What's your character class?
Monk.
A monk. This is interesting. So Gedwin and Hawk were once indentured gladiators of the dreaded Ogorian fighting pits. So you guys were slaves to the Nadician Empire to the south at one point.
Sounds of that.
So you guys write that down, or do you want me to put that somewhere so you can see it?
So we were slaves of the Nadician Empire, which is to the south of us.
As gladiators. You guys were gladiators.
Gladiators. All right. I'll put that down somewhere. Is there just like a notes section somewhere?
Yes, there is.
Oh,
all right,
right there.
Sean, why don't you roll a d20? A 5.
Calls for some drinking.
I don't even know what that is. I gotta.
Nice.
Here we go. This is better. I was looking at the wrong one. All right. So this looks interesting. You and one of the other players, I'm assuming Gedwin, were translator, etiquette aides, or slaves for nomadic Thules of the Great Plains, traveling to a remote outpost to trade. Oh, we lost Hawk. Hawk, you still here?
You did?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm still
yeah,
here.
your camera just like greened out.
What the flying falafel? You know what? I'm going to restart Discord. So I'm going to be gone for a second.
All right. So, Aaron and Sean, you can see up here these high plains and low plains. Thule are like a native, savage barbarians that exist in the remote places of the Midlands. In the early Third Age, they and the Scorn battled over much of these lands for domination. The Scorn are like cannibalistic beastmen, half men at best. While the Thule are closer in, they're human. They're not beast men or anything else like that. So what do you guys think you were? Etiquette aides, translators, or slaves?
Not much of a translator or educator.
Not
Slaves
educator,
would be tricky.
etiquette aid.
Etiquette aid.
Slaves would be tricky because that would mean wouldn't that mean one of wouldn't that mean I can't think of who Aaron's character's name is, but
Gedwin.
they were
Gedwin. Well, actually, to
Gedwin
me,
would have
that
been a
was
slave for two different societies, right?
Yeah.
sure, but could have been
You're
sold
really
from one to the
terrible
other.
at freedom.
It could have been when you were younger and around with Duchess before, and then maybe you were sold to the Nadicians, because most of the Midlanders are not slavers. They don't use that, but the Nadician Empire does, and so do the barbaric tribes of the Thule. So that's how you guys know each other, and for whatever reason, you have come together in this other town that I mentioned, Crow's Keep.
And tell me again where this is roughly.
It's where the hex, you see that marker?
Oh, Crow's Keep. Okay, I thought we were down in the Nadician Empire. Or
You
something.
were, but that was in the past.
Okay.
So Melek is the is down here. So Melek is the northernmost city of note of the Nadician Empire. So
I gotcha.
the Nadicians built a city here, but it was destroyed and razed by Thule and Scorn. And that was 20 years ago. And after that is when that was 30 years ago. and that halted the Nidisian expansion into the Midlands. So the Argosans, or the Midlanders, they've lived here before, but to the south you have another empire, the Nidisian Empire, which kind of has like a Roman feel to it, infringing and trying to expand north into the Midlander area. And then from the north expanding south, you have the Vornari, which is more like a kind of a Viking or Nordic / Danish culture. And they are in Vorngard, which is up here. And then you have the three areas of the points of light being Crow's Keep, Port Brax, and Northgate, being the Midlander peoples. So, anybody have any questions?
No.
All right, so I would assume I think we'll kind of let some of this stuff fade into the background and give you guys some time to look over the Gazetteer, and then you'll kind of learn a little more about, because since all of you are, Gedwin kind of looks like a Vornari in some ways, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the tattoos aren't something that that particular sect of monks use, or that school of that military school, or whatever you would consider that, I guess. So anyhow, let's get right into the session. So you guys know each other. Somehow you found each other in Crow's Keep, and you were surprised to find Tor as a member of Baal's advocacy, I guess. I don't know what you would call that exactly.
Religion? Cult?
Religion. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if these guys would consider that a cult, because the Seven Ancients is their pantheon that they believe in, or whatever.
I am a cultist.
That's right. But cultist is just your character class. I mean, in the fiction of the setting, I don't think they would necessarily call you a cultist, because that's the accepted religion. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yep.
All right. So, maybe you guys were down on your luck. You only have a few gold pieces left, trying to survive. And one of you, let's say Duchess, knows of the Merchants Guild. I think that this was like changed in two different things. I'm looking like two different copies of this. We are using a sort of published adventure, but not exactly. So basically, you guys were hired to find this group of hunters who set out to deal with a creature that had been rampaging on the outer fringes of the Drelnor forest. Okay.
So we're finding the group, or we're finding the monster?
The group. They went out to kill them, but
Okay.
they haven't returned.
Oh.
And the guild that sent them out, the Hunters Guild and their families, are very anxious to know their fate. And as a reward, they're offering 1 year's tracking and pathfinding services, plus a substantial fee. So like, if you guys are successful in this and you help out the Hunters Guild, then you might be able to like get a guide from them if you wanted to find something else, or whatever. So for whatever reason, you guys decided this was a good idea, because this is the one we're playing, you sons of bitches.
Good enough.
Those
Very natural
hunters,
motivation.
those hunters were also hired. Well, they weren't hired, but they know that there's a generous bounty to deal with this creature named Big Beak, because he's been disrupting caravans and foragers and woodsmen. So there is a substantial bounty if you could bring back proof of the demise of Big Beak.
And I think the only proof that would count would be a big beak.
Makes sense to me, brother.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys had enough food and everything, and you headed out, and we'll do one roll to see if anything interesting happened on the path out there, and then we're going to pick it up as you reach the edges of the Drelnor forest. Okay?
Drelnor forest, okay.
All right. What the hell is your Argosha Plateau? That's way over there. So I'm going to find where we are. All right, so I'm actually using the random encounter tables for low fantasy gaming, not something else that I have. If anyone is interested to know, not some other thing that I made up. He's got certainly a different concept of what random encounter tables should be, which I think is cool. Floor planes. I would consider this a plains area. Oh. Dang it. Or actually, exploration, overland events. That's what I was looking for. All right, so roll a D20. I don't think you've rolled yet, Aaron.
All right, just a second.
Make it a good one.
I don't know any other way. That's not good.
A 19.
Ooh.
This sounds exciting.
Could have saved that up for a better time.
Yeah, that's true. But you have fallen to a subtable. Which is pretty
Well,
exciting.
Subtables.
Roll
Those
it.
That's
are
what I've
the best.
always wanted.
Roll a D20.
Those are the best kind of tables.
Another 19.
Another 19. I think his dice is rigged.
Wow. All right. So you guys have been on your journey for about 4 days. All right, Stu, see you later. We actually just started playing and you're going to take off. You don't get to see the first death in the campaign. I'm sure it won't take long for Sean. I mean,
He
Hawk.
just tuned in to see the session 0 madness.
Yeah, that was so well done. I'm sure that he feels pretty excited to have been a part of that. So we're gonna assume. Well, let's just roll. About as night is getting closer, it's been sort of warm and fairly clear. And then on a rise, you Duchess in the distance spots looks like a person, and you can tell that they don't have a lot of clothes on, and they're wearing some kind of mask that looks like a bird, like they have some kind of bird mask on, like big feathers sweeping back, multicolored feathers, and kind of like almost like a plague mask in some ways, but it's got the feathers coming back and it doesn't go straight to a point, but it has just kind of like a hooked face on it with no mouth. So it's just got like a hooked nose, some eye holes, and these like a wooden mask, that's painted with quite a few colors. And then, hey, AWOL Trooper. I don't know who AWOL Trooper is, but he must be a fan of yours, Sean. Anyway, what does Duchess do?
Do I recognize the headdress as being a symbol of anything specific?
Why don't you make a general info roll?
I will make a general info roll if you
General
so
lore,
insist.
intelligence.
General lore, intelligence.
And if that's one of your skills, how does that? What's the?
Okay, I kind of went over this earlier, but I did expect you to have questions. So basically, he doesn't have general lore, so he just rolled an intelligence check. If you don't have the skill, you just use the attribute. But if you do have the skill, basically you get a +1 to your target number, and you can use your reroll pool if you desire. So, do you want to use your reroll pool, Sean? You can't
No.
because you don't have the skill. right?
Correct.
Yes. All right. So you do not have, you're guessing, you don't know what it signifies or anything, but you know, you are out in the middle of the plains and it could be maybe Thule, maybe something else. But as you see that and you try to picture it and, you know, Duchess ponders what it could be for a second, now you can hear like a ululating cry kind of echo across the plain, and their arms are upraised. You guys can all make a detection check.
Detection. Now that's one of my skills, so I get a +1, correct?
It's already going to be in there. Yeah, it's already going to be in there.
So I just click perception, the perception die.
No, the detection, right next to your skill.
Oh, the detection die. Oh, right. Success.
All right, so as you can see, we have 2 great successes and a success. So that's where they're talking about. The lower it is, the better. So
Nice job, guys.
So almost all you guys are pretty sure that this is a woman. She's just wearing, you know, like a halter top and some kind of like, you know, Tarzan pants on the bottom as a throwback, and well tanned. And it does seem like she may have a very dark complexion, and much of the color, the blue seems to dominate. And she may even have some kind of woad or markings on her. And at that moment, you guys figured out a peal of thunder echoes overhead, and you guys are like, whoa, what's going on? Look around. When you look back, the figure is gone.
What the hey?
What is going on?
What do you do? Oh, I'll take this as a second as we ponder. So when you guys took the job, was there anything you would want to do after, you know, you heard about it? So Duchess heard about the Hunters Guild was offering a reward, and then you maybe looked into it a little deeper and found out that the Merchant Guild was also offering a reward. Is there anything else you guys would want to do in town before you left?
I would have wanted to know if anybody else was doing this, handling this.
Okay. So what about you, Hawk? Do you have any questions?
I didn't. Nope.
All right. Aaron?
Just general information, whatever we can learn about Big Beak.
Okay. Big Beak is your focus. All right. That's interesting. All right. Good. So gather info for Duchess and Gedwin.
Terrible failure. Now, Sean, was that one of your skills?
Yeah, if it comes up as gather info, then he has the skill. If it comes up as an intelligence check, then you don't.
Oh, I
Yeah.
gotcha.
This is just the first session, so I'm really trying to use these, and I don't think these die rolls matter a really huge deal. AWOL Trooper, if you're wondering if I always use this many dice rolls, I'm just trying to get the guys used to the skills and stuff. So, all right. Yeah, so you guys don't know much.
We know nothing
Great.
about history or Big Beak.
You didn't really look into too much about anything. You did hear that the Big Beak's lair is in a ruins near to an old hermit's lodge, and the Hunters Guild gave you some idea where that would be. So it's not like you guys are just wandering out in the wilderness to easily get lost or anything. You are kind of following specific directions to get to this this lodge that rests on the edge of the Drelnor Forest. Okay. We'll say that you also know that a party of 12 trackers and hunters, the group that you're seeking, there's 12 of them.
Sounds good.
And they are a week overdue from when they were expected back. Alrighty. So now, once we get back, You know, like you can see some cloud cover almost seems to shift into into your area, almost like it's under speed camera or something how quickly it approaches.
We're about to get dumped on.
What are you guys going to do?
So we're still out on the plains. We're not at the edge of the forest yet.
Correct.
And this character was just walking towards us and then started ululating and then disappeared.
They weren't walking. You could just see them.
Oh. But there was ululating and then they disappeared.
Yep.
Okay.
How far off was it?
Maybe about 150 yards.
It's like a football field and a half.
Yeah, they were a ways away, but they were like silhouetted on a hill.
Is that hill in the general direction we were going? Like we were going to cross over that hill to get to the Hunter's Lodge or whatever?
So maybe, you're headed straight to that piece of forest there, and it's close enough that you could easily veer there if you'd like to without really getting yourself too out. But it is getting on dusk too.
I'm thinking maybe we want to run to the forest to get to avoid the rain that it's clearly been called down.
You're still days away from the forest. This is 10-mile hexes or 10-mile squares, so it's like 60 miles to the forest.
But you said we've been traveling for 4 days. I thought you said.
Right. Yeah. But I think you go about 10 miles a day.
Yeah. 8.
Cause you're just on the open plains. There's not like a road or anything like that. Aaron's like, I would travel way more than that walking if that was my idea. That doesn't seem like much.
You can travel more. You can travel like, I think double up to an hour. But you suffer some things.
All right.
So we need to look for cover, I guess.
Yeah.
That's where I was going with that.
But not on that hilltop. or wherever they just were.
All right. Yeah.
So
you
we
guys
look
search for some space. All right. You fairly easily find some decent cover on an overlook on some kind of cleft that has a little bit, and you can, piece together some cloaks or something from your travel kit that allows to keep the rain off. The rain never actually comes. The wind picks up and the clouds come, but no rain follows. All right, and the next day dawns and time quickly passes. The camera pans to the sky as the sun comes up and it goes down, and you can see you guys walking and approaching the forest as it gets nearer and nearer.
And nearer.
And nearer.
Here comes the forest.
And so you figure you're about a day and a half. You've reached the edge of the forest, and you're kind of on the outskirts of it, but it is still an impressive. I'm going to see if I can find it. I'm sure. Yeah, here we go. See what Steve has to say about it. It looks like an elder woodland, a prodigious mix of gigantic oak, yew, and willow trees. Its enormous canopy thick and lustrous with age. The occasional beam of sunlight stretches to the overgrown floor. But for the most part, the trees and nettled undergrowth are dim and shrouded in half light. The air is cool, loud with insect calls, and strong with the scent of moldering leaves.
So it's a forest.
Yes.
An elder forest.
Yes.
An elder forest.
It's known as a
Mind your
place
elders.
that is not for the unarmed or ill-prepared. Even in the outermost fringes, hostile scorn and thule are common, not to mention beasts such as direwolves, owlbears, and giant spiders. Deep within, where the trees grow wider than houses, the relics of dead civilizations might be found, imposing statues, puzzling obelisks, and crumbling cities.
Well, this sounds kind of scary.
Good.
Well,
I don't know, guys. Maybe we should just go home.
Yeah, screw
let's
this
go.
noise.
Forget-
Screw this
forget
noise.
this.
This thing looks way too dangerous and scary.
I'm just going to get married and raise a family. Forget this adventuring crap. All right, let's. So we have to go into the forest, though. I assume we were headed to that hunter's lodge where we thought the abandoned lodge where we thought the lair of the big beak was. Is that correct, boys? Girls?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we're
And
going.
it's
We're
in the
looking for the. It's at the edge of the forest.
Yeah, it's
We
a
have a rough
day
idea
and a
of where
half
it's at.
into the forest.
The lodge itself is.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess we just
So-
keep heading forward.
Well, I think
On
what we want
guard.
to be doing is looking around move back and forth here on the outer edge and see if there's something resembling a trail. If there's a lodge, there's got to be some sort of trail.
Yep. That's a good idea.
It's an abandoned lodge, and it has been abandoned for quite some time. But
So
you guys
maybe
do
there's-
have like some kind of, description of the path to get there. So
All right.
does that
Well,
help?
Yeah, so let's look for that.
Yes.
And they entered the woods. Here's 3.
All right, so the first day goes relatively uneventful. You feel like you're well headed in that path, and as you're nearing it, you'd say you have less than a full day, maybe a half day's travel. Who do you think is leading this procession? Like, who's out in front? Is Tor, like trying to just bash things out of the way with his mace? Is Duchess leading the way? Is Gedwin using your spear to edge things out of the path as you move along through the forest?
It's a spear, not a machete.
I didn't say cutting. I just said like edging, like pushing him with your spear.
I'll go up and scout.
Yeah,
All right,
I was
so-
gonna say, I don't think I would be out there bashing.
I'm
anything
stealthy.
else.
I'm gonna do some stealth. I'm being stealthy.
Exactly
All right.
right.
You don't have to roll for anything, so you shouldn't
But it
roll
was a
unless I
success.
say roll. But whatever. Well, if you're actually using your stealth, that means that you're barely moving through the forest, right? You're being super slow and picking your pace. It would take you 2 days to get there. More days if that's the way you were traveling. Regardless, you spot you spot a shadow leaning against a tree that looks relatively humanoid.
Try
It
to sneak
is-
to get a vantage point.
You are only, when you spot this, you are only about 20 yards away.
Whoa.
And the guys aren't that
That's
far
like two
behind
first
you, I'm
downs.
assuming. Yeah. They're not that far behind you where the rest of the party is. And you can
Okay.
hear them as they're crashing through the undergrowth.
They
Yeah. Tor and Gedwin.
gotcha.
So you know that if they continue, it's only a matter of time before, if this, whatever this person is, hasn't heard you or seen you, they likely will.
I give them the be quiet signal.
Hush, players. Hush, my friends.
I wish everybody's camera was working correctly. I'd really like to see that signal.
It is working, isn't it?
Camera. My camera is working just fine. You're the problem, buddy.
No, Sean's, yours is all frozen up on mine.
Everything looks fine on my end. Aaron looks fine. Hobbs looks fine.
Yeah,
Twitch
Aaron's
looks fine.
Hobbs is fine.
I
But
think,
your camera's all frozen up on mine.
I think you're the problem, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Could be.
Yeah,
could
buddy.
be, could
All right, so you
Anywho.
guys see that? I'm assuming do you guys, pause, or do you continue on, or what? What's the
No, we
plan?
follow the orders. We Stand still and listen.
That's right. Pause up.
All right. And so, Sean, we can use that roll. You're trying to sneak around and get an idea on what's going on. So what you see, this is all randomly rolled, people. So
You don't have to tell us that.
no, the reason I'm saying that is because I don't
not
have
for
it
us, huh?
necessarily prepared.
Oh. So how is that any different than normal?
Oh my God. But that's always the case, I guess. That's part of it.
Exactly. It's part of your charm.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Know what it was like to be a Tor that day, I tell you.
I tell you,
I
I
tell
was
you.
tall.
I tell you.
I was tall. Man.
Wow.
So you realize I picked the name Tor because this is Blor's brother.
Oh my God.
Blor's brother Tor.
It
That's
can't
right,
be
baby.
because you're in a completely different area.
You don't know that.
The Orr
Hobbs.
brothers.
I do know that.
But this is the version of Blor in this, parallel dimensions.
Oh,
If I had
God.
been born in Lyncium, I would have been Blor. But I was born in
Blur wasn't a
Argos,
cultist.
so I'm Tor. Well, yeah, but if you're born in different dimensions, you don't take exactly the same path, although your names are similar. Oh, holy crap!
Alternate
What's that
reality.
thing?
That's what you see
Oh,
leaning here. And you can see there's another one about 10 yards away and then another one at 10 yards away to the other side. So it looks like they might be sentinels of some sort in the path.
Duchess thinks to herself, I think I may have dated that guy.
Oh, God.
Which explains a lot.
Oh, God.
They're how far apart?
About 10 to 20 yards apart from each other.
And they look like they're on guard, so to speak.
Yeah, buddy.
Is that what you said?
Is there a way that I could sneak up to one without the other one seeing me?
Anything is possible.
Ooh.
And I'm going to do that, hopefully being to the closer one of the two. Do I know? Okay. Have I ever seen these guys before?
That's
My
what
travels.
that's what I was trying to figure out here.
That's a judgment call, man. Doesn't
And
matter.
I believe that you fairly easily have at least heard these are likely the cannibalistic scorn that you've heard of.
Sounds horrible.
Do they live underground?
They do not.
Oh, damn.
Why do you want them to live
I was looking
underground?
for, I was looking for Chud.
Oh, no, not Chud.
Hail and farewell.
You call out to him?
No. I'm going to sneak up on this one guy and dispatch him. See, is it obvious that they're looking to ambush us?
Shit.
No, they're not trying to ambush. You don't think they're trying
Oh.
to ambush anyone. They look like they're they're protecting something on the other side. So they're like outskirt guards or something.
Ah, gotcha.
So there's like 50 more of these things.
So the scorn to you are known as half men or beast men, often heavy set, greenish skinned proto humans, scarred and heavily sunburnt, usually about 7 feet tall, but for their stooping stature, small eyes, flat faces, and rudimentary ear holes. Dull-witted cannibals, more beast than man, raiding outposts and caravans. They live to eat, breed, and fight, inevitably bringing them into conflict with their neighbors. I have to use the restroom, so bio.
Don't understand why we can't all just get along.
I know. So much conflict in these games.
I know, it's all about conflict.
Right. Where's the game where we all just kind of get together in peace and harmony and
Right.
All right, we don't really want to fight these things, do we?
Probably not.
well, but are we approaching the lodge that we're trying to get to?
Yeah, so they might be camped out at the lodge. Of course, if we're looking for Big Beak, Because we think Big Beak is hanging out in this lodge, right? This abandoned lodge. That's why we're headed
The
here.
lair is supposed to be near it.
Yeah. So that's
what
why
we
we're
were told.
coming here.
Right.
So these
Well-
beastmen might be inhabiting this abandoned lodge now as some sort of outpost or camp or whatever.
Might be good to know more about what's going on around this spot.
Right. So we might want to do some careful scouting, man.
But we have no way to communicate that to each other without drawing attention.
Hand signals. Duchess had really good hand signals. I saw them. So Duchess just keeps giving us signals to tell us what to do. Or isn't this? I don't know if my camera's working, but isn't this?
No, it's not.
Doesn't that mean just look around?
Look around.
Yeah, look around. Sean, your camera just keeps like jumping from pose to pose.
I know.
It's like one of those Saturday Night Live sketches where you just see like photographs of progress.
On Discord, I move fine, but on Twitch, it looks like total garbage. I don't know what's going on.
Well, you and Hawk are both frozen for me, it looks like.
Both of us are.
Yeah. It's a
Huh.
mystery.
I don't know what the issue is.
I could do a refresh now since Hobbs isn't here, actually.
I think I'll do a quick bathroom break too.
Just browsers, man. They just take up so much. I think I'm going to change something here. I might change something.
Oh, did everybody leave? What's going on here? Everybody leave, Sean? What's going on? I can't hear you, bro. Sean, can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Still can't hear me?
Now I can.
I figured since you were gone, I would reboot and see if that helped anything and use a different browser because I know Chrome can be a major pain in the arse.
You know, they're probably farther away than that. They're probably more like 30 yards than 20 away from each other.
Huh. Knew what it was like to be a tour that day, I tell you. So, like now, I'm good on the Discord. I mean,
Pretty good, but
smooth
still
and
kind
silk.
of not. You look smooth, but it's still pixelated and not as pretty as mine or Aaron's.
Come on. Oh my God, it's terrible on Twitch. What in the hell, man?
Well, it's not good on It's not that good on Discord.
What?
It's not that clear.
My shit's awesome
Not
on
to-
my end.
Not to us.
Man, I don't know what's going on.
Aaron, does it
No,
look
you're
that?
not frozen anymore.
Yeah, you're not frozen.
Yeah,
What
Sean's
happened to
a little-
Hawk?
Yeah,
I don't know.
where he went.
Well, let's just let's adjudicate this and see what happens. So you're still intending on moving up there and trying to take this dude out?
Nah, I don't know if that's the wisest idea, actually.
Oh, okay.
My upload speed totally sucks. That's why the problem exists.
That's
Makes
why you're
sense.
beautiful at home, but not elsewhere.
Mhm.
Well, it says 10 up, but it started out creeping, so I don't know what's going on. I would do it.
I don't know either, guys.
Oh, now it's like up to 20. I don't get it. Cable modems are great. Anyways. I don't know where the hell Hawk is, man.
We don't
Caw.
we don't
There
necessarily
we go.
need him. He's coming.
That's
He
that's
probably
fair.
reboot as well. All right. So what is Duchess gonna do? So
She is
Yeah, Duchess.
going.
you guys weren't slaves of the Scorn. There was the Thule, who are the barbaric tribes that range all about the Midlands. So these aren't those people. These are something else. So what's Duchess gonna do?
But you'd think she would, if she was a slave of the Thule, you'd have heard some things about them,
About the Thule?
right? Because
These aren't the
No,
same
about-
thing. These are
about-
Scorn.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm saying Duchess would know about them from being a slave of the Thule.
But yeah, I kind of described some stuff about them. Honestly, there's not a whole lot more to know about them other than their horrific tendencies and such.
They're big and mean and eat people.
That's right.
But
So
Probably
They-
smell.
if they're are they cannibalistic, or do they just eat people? Because if they're not eating other beastmen,
they probably do eat other beastmen.
all right,
Cannibals.
just clarifying.
So once more, what does Duchess do?
I am going to make note of where they are, and I'm going to come back to the Partey, to Gedwin and Tor, and let them know where they are, and that there's probably more of them, that they are probably sentinels out in front of their group. We should go around them and be careful. Proceed with caution. Did I lose audio? I lost audio.
No, you didn't.
Oh,
I
nobody's
can- I
talking.
can hear.
Okay.
I
That's
can-
what I do. I'm just
Because
used to
you were-
everybody talking all the time. Talk.
Oh, I was listening to your fascinating description of what you were going to do.
He was wrapped.
All right. So is that the plan then? Is that what the rest of you guys agree on?
Yes.
Makes sense to me.
All right. So it just increases your time a little bit.
Sure.
Hey, we got nothing but time.
You know,
Time.
obviously,
On our
your nerves are on edge as you're creeping through this dark and elder forest of yew and massive elderberry trees. You feel like you're back on the path, but you kind of got off of it once you had to skirt around these guys. So it's possible you're lost, but not necessarily. And you did find like some sort of trail, and it is 15, 12, 3. It's about 3 in the afternoon, and you see someone come around a tree in front of you.
Dag nabbit.
How far out?
About 100 yards out. It looks like a person, though. A human.
They have made it known that they see us and acknowledge us.
I lost something here. I'm going to show you.
Aaron dropped off.
Jesus,
Yeah,
where's
just
everyone
went away.
going?
Aaron is there, but his video's gone. And now Twitch is back. And now Aaron is back on Twitch.
Can you hear me now?
So you see a guy. Yep. He looks like some kind of forester, a hunter, or a tracker or something.
Yeah.
He's got a bow, strung bow in one hand, and he looks, well, why don't you guys, yeah, he looks surprised to see you, and then he waves.
We're looking for hunters.
He's a nice guy.
Like, he doesn't wave like hello, he waves like his face looks kind of, and he kind of motions, to stay back.
Okay. I say spread out, like spread out.
Stay back.
Yep, that's the international symbol for spread out.
And stay back.
And he approaches, after you guys kind of slowly and quietly, he approaches Tor, recognizing the bone armor as someone everyone likes to talk to happily. And he's like,
just says, "Come."
The conversation piece.
What are you doing here? Don't you know what lives in this area?
Yeah, we're looking for. Well, what are you doing out here?
I'm Aaron. I'm a hunter. I've been tracking the beast. And you recognize that name as one of the 12 you're seeking.
Oh. All right, so I'll let him know. I'll say, well, dude, we came looking for you. You've been gone for so long. People in the town got worried about you, so we came out looking for you. They sent us.
Oh, all right. Like he says, all right, follow me. And you guys move off, he goes back in the direction you guys were coming. So farther away from wherever he was. And he's like, you're nearing the lodge where we said we would be. And we are there. So, no fear. I would say, head back and let everyone know that we're okay.
Are you aware of the Beastmen?
Beastmen? So that would have been like a few hours ago that you guys saw them.
Yeah, but still. I mean, it was in the forest.
There are some Beastmen traveling about, but we haven't seen any. Did you see some? Even more reason.
Yeah.
Are you guys mad?
Not any more mad than you, I suppose.
Well, he's like dressed in leathers, and he's obviously accustomed to lurking and slinking about in the woods.
And he's trying to get rid of us.
Yeah, he's trying to get rid of us. Do you guys need help, or do you want to get rid of us? Or do you want us to go back? We're pretty tough. We're first level studs out here in this forest, kicking ass.
That's exactly the way I would have framed it up.
Mm-hmm. And taking names. Don't forget about taking names.
Tor's rolling with this.
All right. What am I looking at? So Duchess and Gedwin, you definitely think that this guy is like nervous, and he does seem to have like some kind of underlying something he's kind of hiding. And he does say, "Oh, you seem, fine, but you're not the type that will help us find Big Beak for sure, and he is super dangerous." Like really scary.
Big Beak is?
Yes.
What is it? Have you seen it?
Not yet. It's an owl bear.
It's an owl bear. That explains the name.
A massive one. Have you seen anyone else?
Beak.
Have you seen anyone else other than the Beastmen?
Nope.
No.
All right. So
we have not.
Will you return then to Crow's Keep?
No.
Why don't you want us to see the lodge?
You can see the lodge if you'd like, but we have lost some men. It's this way. He seems a little disparate, but he leads you through the wood.
How did you
Does it
lose your
seem like
men?
he's going in the right direction?
We saw a big beak. Yes, he is going in the correct direction. And we lost quite a few. So as you guys approach through the woods, this is what you see.
The old abandoned castle.
It's not a castle. It's a lodge.
Lodge, yeah. I used the wrong word.
It's a Hemet house.
The old Hemet house.
That's what they had
Tor
said.
comes from a pretty
Yeah, that's a castle. It's 4 sides.
it's a pretty poor roots.
It's all about perspective, baby. All right, so what are they down to? As we're walking up, I mean, how many of them are around, or any of them around?
All right, so he leads you up, and you guys, you can see that there's a few different buildings, a well. Everything looks fairly decrepit. And it seems like all that remain of the 12 men are 6.
It's almost like they're down by half.
It is. It's almost like they're down by half. Only half of them remain. So you have Aaron.
Guy's name is Aaron?
Yep. Derek.
Is there another one? Oh, I thought you were going to say Hawk.
No. Ethan.
Looking very outdoorsy.
The Rangers and such. Ferric. Oh.
That guy looks suspicious.
Ferric isn't here. Horn. Ferric is one that didn't make it. Larwig. And Rudgar.
Oh, Rutgar looks like he's from a boy band.
Oh,
You know
John
it is.
Stamos going on, I think.
Yeah.
Uncle Jesse.
Yeah.
I'll do this so it's easier for you guys to see what's going on. I should have already had these guys in. Like I said I would have, but I was too busy playing games with Frog Dick last night.
Ooh.
Frog Dick. He's also known as...
You have a friend?
That's what he
You
goes
have a
by.
friend named Frog Dick?
Matt Stark is his name. But that's what he goes by on my Discord.
I know Matt.
Yeah, I thought you did. He also
Does he
goes
really?
by... What's his other name? Boot Knife. Boot Knife here on the channel.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, his nickname is Frog Dick.
Frog Dick.
And unfortunately, at Board Game Arena, they wouldn't allow him to use that. I can't understand why.
It's weird.
That is weird, isn't it?
What if his first name is Dick and then he just likes going by a nickname of Frog?
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Seems a little...
I don't know.
Exactly.
Doesn't
Weird.
seem right,
That
does
seem-
it?
Oh.
It seems like a likely story, though.
No, he has a whole story for... That's why his nickname is that. But
I bet he does.
I don't remember what it is.
Have him on the show. Have him explain it.
Yeah.
We're here with Matt today.
So you guys see there's a couple dudes ranging around in here, and then he's like, "Hey everyone, I brought in some travelers." Rudgar seems to stop the others, like, "Oh, what's going on?" Again, though, Gedwin, they seem you feel like they seem kind of nervous that you're here. You can see like a drop of sweat goes down one guy's head. And like as one of them comes up to you, Larwig, he's like, what are you guys doing here? And you get, I'm assuming, Well, why don't you guys just say what you tell them? You don't have to role play it if you don't want to. You can if you want to. However you want to do it.
Well, I'll just repeat what I told who I don't remember who I was talking to out in the forest, but
Aaron.
we came looking for you guys. You guys were not, they thought you were gone. They got worried about you.
Oh, we
Sent us out to get you.
But it's very dangerous. I'm surprised. I mean, we lost half of our group. And Duchess notices that Aaron has moved off and is talking to Rudgar at this point. And they're like, and he's like, oh, eventually he comes over and they're like, well, thank you for coming. Everyone's kind of gathered around. We've been hanging out over here in this other building over here, which is number 2. That's a barn.
It's a nice barn too.
No,
So everything's fine.
Well, it's not fine, of course. We've lost some men. We lost half the group, but right now we're just, the farmhouse. So it's this building over here on the right.
We haven't sent for reinforcements.
No, it was a recent thing. You can see in like one of them, Ethan. He points out Ethan, and Ethan does look like he has like a bandage on one of his arms.
So you could probably use some help, right, boys?
Well, if you want to stay, you can. For right now, we're resting. But have a look around if you wish, and you can take up camp with us there in the farmhouse if you'd like.
Right.
All right.
Well, Tor is talking to them. I'm gonna pull Duchess off to the side a little bit and say, "Do they seem nervous to you?"
Yeah. Something is not right here.
I think we wanna remain on guard.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you guys want to do? It's early evening when you arrive at the lodge.
Now they're trying to send us to the farmhouse, but they're staying in the barn, right?
No, they are staying in the farmhouse as well, but they're kind of like doing different things as they move about it. They're like doing some different things. So you can see that there is like in the barn area, like through the doorway, or you can see there look like there's some meat hanging on some hooks, and it looks like they're taking stuff off and they're preparing a meal for the evening meal in the farmhouse. So this is the barn up here. Farmhouse, chicken coop, and this is a small building over here, which you realize is like a smoking hut. Oh, maybe I guess that's where more carcasses would be hanging.
Well, they might be cleaning them up in the house. I mean, in the barn.
Oh, yeah, there are deer and boar carcasses in the barn, but that's like where they're actually smoking the meat. And it looks like someone's getting some water from the well here. So what do you guys want to do?
Well, if it's getting dark, we're probably going to need to stay for the night, but I think we ought to keep our own watch.
Yeah, and we need, I would say let's stay separate from them. If they're going to knife us in the night, let's not make it easy for them.
So Horn, he leaves. If anyone asks, he just says, "Oh, I'm just going to do some rounds around the nearby area and see if I can spot any spoor from Big Beak." So what's your guys' plan?
I say we take over the chicken coop, make that our new central headquarters.
So you're going to head over to the coop and check it out to see if you do want to go in there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just want to confer with my compadres here. Just want to find, I mean, if we're going to stay here, I don't know if you guys want to stay here, but if we're going to stay here, I don't want to camp with those guys necessarily, since they seem suspicious. Like something's up, like they're up to something, or I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, they certainly are a little. I mean, they did lose half of their group as well, but they still are sticking around because they want to slay the beast.
Maybe. Or they're smuggling drugs.
So there looks like a couple of guys are now they're on watch. That big beak shows up. We want to be prepared. So you guys maybe did move over here. In the chicken coop, it looks it's pretty intact, but the inside is overgrown with mold and foul weeds and littered with small animal bones. But it's not that different from just sleeping out in the middle of the wilderness, right? What you've been doing for the past few days. At least there'd be a roof over your head. You could clean it up if you wanted to, or whatever you want to do.
It's the only roof that's intact, so.
That's right. The rest of them got holes in them. All right. Well, I would vote for camping in the chicken coop unless you guys got a better plan or other ideas.
Not a fan of the chicken coop, but that's fine.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
All right, so you guys kind of set up your camp in the chicken coop. Are you going to do anything else? Are you going to join them for the food like they offered, or?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know. We shouldn't be unfriendly. Just keep an ear open to see if, I don't know, maybe they are just getting on edge because they're living out in the forest.
Traumatized from whatever encounter they experienced.
Right, by the owl bear or whatever.
So when they come over, so Rudgar asked if you guys are going to join them. They said that they had enough meat here. I just wanted to say we want to apologize for Aaron. He can be a bit standoffish, but we're glad you guys are here. Maybe you can help us deal with Big Beak, and then we can all split the reward.
Good plan.
Yeah, sounds great. Super.
Right. So you guys are all hanging out in the farmhouse.
Alrighty.
As holes in the roof, but the shutters and doors are secure and the chimney works. There's bedrolls, personal items, utensils. So you can see some different bedrolls and stuff. Even during the food, Horn arrives, but there's still two of the guys are outside. They say they want to keep a close lookout in case those Scorn you guys talked about show up.
Have you encountered the Scorn?
No, not recently, but we're very close to Big Beak's lair, I think, at this point. So it's no surprise they're probably keeping their distance from him as well.
Do the beastmen normally live in this forest? I don't know what.
In some area, possibly they do. You have heard rumors that they're all around, but the forest is massive. It's hundreds of miles.
Right. So it wouldn't be
How
that.
far did we travel from? Yeah. How far did we travel from where Duchess saw the Sentinels?
Oh, a few miles.
So while we're chatting here, I'm going to say, we encountered beastmen, but they looked to us like they were standing guard over something a few miles away, a few miles to the.
I wonder what that would be.
East.
Maybe they control Big Beak.
That would be some vile magic. So, is there anything you guys specifically want to talk about?
What happened to the rest of the group?
When we were out searching for Big Beak, and he spins off into this tale of finding an area where they think he was drinking pretty often from a stream, and mentions the others' names as they tried to deal with them, and he broke off their spears, and many of the guys were killed, and we barely made it away. But he's wounded, so next time it won't happen that way, especially with you lot.
Because we'll send you in as fodder before we go in for the kill.
And maybe, Master Tor, perhaps you would like to say some words over their shallow graves.
I would indeed like to do that. Take me to their graves and we'll put them to rest in a way befitting their bravery. That's the end of the sentence.
Right now? Or should we finish eating? Or
well, I,
daylight.
I thought we were done. I thought we were done.
This is just like a conversations that are going on during the whole process when you guys are hanging out with them.
Gotcha. Well, at an appropriate time.
He's basically asking when that is. Morning, night, and the dawn.
Yeah,
at midnight.
Anytime's fine. Dawn would be fine.
All right. So, is there anything else you guys want to do tonight?
Not me.
Sean?
No, I don't think so.
Aaron?
I think we've learned what we can at the moment.
Apparently.
Just happy to be able to sleep somewhere
under a roof,
a little more enclosed.
All righty. So you guys are still going to have a watch inside the chicken coop?
Yes.
We could offer to watch with them.
All right. So throughout the night, you join with one of the other. There's always two people on guard outside, wandering around like these the broken fence of the confines of the Hermit's Lodge. And so dawn arrives, and they take you to the bodies. They're up in the northwestern corner there, shallow graves.
All right, I'll say a prayer over the bodies and give them a send-off befitting whatever they were doing.
All righty. So they basically say, hey, make yourselves ready. You got to rest a little bit, but perhaps tomorrow morning we'll head off and see if we can find I think we're close to finding the Big Beak's lair.
All right. That'll be exciting.
So you guys have one more
tomorrow
day
morning,
of rest.
so we're waiting another day.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys want to do? Does anyone want to search themselves? Does anyone want to look around in this encampment? Does anyone want to talk to anybody about anything?
I'm going to look around. Look in the buildings, look in the smoke shed, the under the pretense of just wanting to make sure I understand the fortifications and angles of attack and so on.
Okay. So where do you want to start?
Well, we've looked around the chicken coop, right? So we already know what things look like here. So I'm going to start in the barn.
All right. In the barn, what are Duchess and Tor doing while he's doing that?
I think I'll just hang out with whoever happens to be out and doing, offer help and see if I can pry any information, see if I get a feel for, I don't know, just keep my eyes and ears open.
I'm gonna check on their supply levels and see if I can restock, and then as I kind of poke around, see if I notice anything strange
in the actual
peculiar.
Farmhouse where their stash and stuff is in the farmhouse.
Yeah. HQ, wherever HQ is. That's the farmhouse.
Somebody here, guys. Give me just a minute.
All right,
you can go ahead and talk. I'll hear you, but I'm going to mute, or you can take a break either way.
All right. Well, let's start with the farmhouse. So a couple guys are out looking around. There's a couple guys on guard duty, and all right, and there is actually no one in the farmhouse at this second. So, like I say, are you going to go through their stuff or?
No, just gonna walk through and see their setup, and then well, actually, yeah, I'm gonna look through their stuff. Maybe pick a couple things and maybe a pack or two or something, and just kind of rummage through it quick without trying to leave too much.
All right, make a detection check.
Why not? Detection.
Sorry.
All right, so a terrible
Great.
failure.
Awesome.
Oh,
Wow.
that doesn't sound good.
All right. So Tor's out here talking with these dudes. Gedwin's up here. Duchess is in here. As you're going through their stuff,
Right.
Rudgar comes into the room.
Ooh. Oh. This isn't my pack. What the hell? This isn't the chicken coop.
Wouldn't you be better off going with the, hey, I'm looking into how many supplies you guys have?
Yeah. Making sure you guys
Yeah, let's
have the
pretend he
right
said that.
provisions.
Jeez Louise. All right, so he looks surprised, and maybe you should do you're going to basically try and persuade this guy that he is more in line, that you aren't doing anything untoward. This seems like a deception check to me.
Deceive it up.
Sean.
What is deception under?
Oh, it's charisma.
Of course it is. There you go.
There you go, buddy.
Are you a horrible failure again? I'm sorry.
He's
terrible
like,
failure.
that sounds ridiculous. I can't blame you for looking into this stuff some, but I think I'm going to have to ask you to leave and steer clear of the farmhouse. Duchess, if that's your real name.
That sounds like
It's
a
not
dog.
actually, but okay, I'll leave. I leave.
All right.
I walk out.
All right, in the barn. So you're looking around the barn, like I said, hooked change hang from the beams, and you can see like there's deer and boar. You can see strips of salted meat lined up on side tables, and maybe some sacks that have some in it.
Yummy.
How close are you? What are you looking into?
Well, I mean, you start with the general look around, but then as get a lay of the land, which you kind of gave me, and then start just up and down through the barn. Is there a loft? Is there what can I see in the rafters?
Yeah, no
Is there
loft.
anything?
Why don't you make a detection check?
And there was an owl bear in the corner.
Do you have detection? Detection's charisma?
Yep.
That seems a little weird.
Yeah, that seems strange.
No,
Goes on.
it's
you-
perception
You do have
or
detection?
personality.
Or you just have
It should be
perception?
perception, right?
It put detection on perception. Yeah.
Okay, if your skills are going to be down to the bottom. You had to put those in. So you rolled a perception check, not a detection check.
Right, but under notes it says alertness and detection is what you hit.
Right, but if you want to, on your actual character sheet, there is a detection spot. So when you look at your character sheet,
I'm looking at it.
all right, so what you rolled was in the notes where it says detection, but if you go down,
Correct.
if you scroll down and you look at skills,
Right.
so
Yeah,
you only have
I've got acrobatics and redirect attack.
Yeah,
So
redirect
he doesn't
attack.
have it.
Redirect attack wouldn't be a skill. You would have more skills than just acrobatics, I believe. Let's look at your character.
That's what I rolled when I rolled the character.
Yeah, well, let's look it up. I'm going to try to help you out here, buddy, because you probably have more.
Yeah,
skills than that.
There's
Oh,
some
yeah,
you get automatically.
But I was a success.
Yeah, the roll will stay.
Yeah.
But I wanted to.
Don't.
All right, so
Gotta fix your jacked up shit.
Yeah, your shit is fucked up. So redirect attack would be one of your class abilities. So that would go over under like features. Okay. Acrobatics you have apothecary and athletics. So I'm on page 35. Well, you wouldn't know that because you didn't have a flippin' character, right? You didn't even know you didn't have monk anywhere. Wasn't even in that other book. So yeah, you have
+4.
Yeah, then you get to choose 4 out of the another list. It's 35 on the Lux book. In the notes, it's just kind of an explanation of what the thing is. When you made those rolls, you were just making an actual perception check or whatever. So detection is one of the choices if you want it to be.
We're going to so apothecary,
acrobatics, apothecary, and athletics.
I also have apothecary.
Well, congratulations. So apothecary, the attribute is going to be
intelligence.
That would make sense to me.
There's a list somewhere that says what the attribute is for each skill.
See, this, I guess why I was going off of this, and I mean, not that I'm going to argue with you, but it says you begin an adventure with one of this ability per level.
Yeah, it's an ability, so that would be like and you're fine. The skills are just specifically skills where your class abilities are a different thing.
It's all good, man.
Yeah, so you get to choose 4
It's
of
all good.
arcane lore, deception, detection, divine lore, general lore, insight, persuasion, sailing, stealth, traps and locks, or wilderness lore. So I think that would all just depend on how you feel about your monk training on what you would be good at.
Well, I guess kind of how I'm not that this helps me here, but kind of how I'm envisioning it is I would think woodland.
Well,
was it woodland lore?
Wilderness lore sounds like a good one then.
Yeah, I mean for the character and be consistent with the character.
Stealth, maybe.
Well, so no, I think wilderness lore is the thing that makes most sense. But what
you get 4 more.
4 more. Okay, well.
So I got wilderness lore.
Yeah. Acrobatics, apothecary, athletics, wilderness lore. So I get 4 or I get how many total?
You get 3 more, 7 total.
All right, well then let's go ahead and say stealth.
Are you going to be talky at all? Like, do you want persuasion or deception? Do you think you'd be magic-y at all? Would you have some knowledge of the arcane lore? Are you good at gathering up general lore? Are you insightful? Like, can tell what people are doing or saying? Would you be better at spotting things? You have keen eyes?
I think general lore would make sense.
So general lore is, I think usually, is just common knowledge about things. So like maybe studying history or something like that. So you would have knowledge of that.
And that's what it's called, is general lore?
Yep, general lore.
Okay.
So 1 more. We probably should have went over this in the beginning of the game. My fault.
It's okay. It's let's say persuasion.
So trying to get people to do what you want.
Yeah. So modifiers. Now I'd need to know what the attribute is for each of these, right?
Yep. All right. So general lore is int.
It's on page 50 in the book if you got it.
Wilderness lore is int. Stealth is dex. Persuasion is charisma.
All right.
All right. Nice. So you made it, right?
Right.
Under a perception check. All right. So as you're rifling around some stuff, underneath, you find a leather satchel underneath some cured meat.
Oh, my favorite kind.
And inside the satchel, you find a twin-bladed cold iron knife with a bloodstone gem on the hilt.
Good grief, man.
Whoa.
It's a strange thing to be in a barn.
Twin-bladed cold steel.
Cold iron.
Cold iron. Thank you.
As opposed to warm iron.
Well, cold
Well, I
iron
really
is
don't.
more of like raw. It's kind of a raw and maybe a different type of like an older type of metal or something.
With a gem in the handle.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to tuck that away.
You're going to keep it?
Yeah, it belongs to Tucker.
When we say
whatever.
twin bladed, we're talking about a handle between two blades, right?
I am
Like one up, one down.
I am going to give you an image.
Ooh, those are the best things to give.
I just have to
Image.
get it.
Oops.
Is the Jeopardy theme copyrighted?
I'm sure it is.
Before I start whistling.
Well, Thunder Island's copyrighted, and Sean keeps singing that. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So as I'm looking at this thing, so the gem's in the blade.
Yeah.
Does the gem look valuable to me?
It certainly has some value.
This has the look of a ceremonial knife of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So no, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to make note of its location and its appearance and put it back. And then keep looking around.
All right. So Tor, as you're hanging out with the guys, is there anything specific? Why don't you tell me what you're trying to do as well? You're trying to gather information from them.
Well, yeah. So I guess I want to find. I don't know, I guess they're down to half strength. They came out here with 12 men. They're down to half strength. So I guess part of me is wondering why haven't they decided to go back? Like, we're getting our butts kicked. I don't know. I'm just trying to find out if they're encountering anything else. If I don't know if the behavior seems odd. I mean, it seemed a little odd at first, but then they're like, he's just standoffish. So I guess I just want to see if I can, I don't know, detect if they're up to anything besides chasing down the owl bear. Oops, I lost your.
So mostly these guys are woodsmen. They're not like great conversationalists. They're used to just staying quiet as they're hunting or wandering around in the woods. They seem, you would say they seem a little standoffish, and you're guessing it's mostly because of the strength of your religion, because the men of Baal aren't necessarily someone that you would want to, go out for drinks with or whatever more often, because the things that they deal with mostly seem the aesthetic around that sort of person doesn't scream socialite, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I get you.
Saying is maybe you shouldn't wear the bones to the parties.
Exactly.
Yeah, boner.
All right.
All right. So is there anything else you wanted to try to figure out? But yeah, that's what you get. I mean, and they don't always stand there. So sometimes the guards switch.
Right.
And at one point when you're lounging about the well, they look like they're in the middle of exchanging. You see Duchess kind of abashedly leave the farmhouse and head over to the. Where are you going? I'm just assuming you went to the chicken coop there, Shauner.
Yeah.
Head over to the chicken coop, and there's a couple different guys, and they're switching. It seems like a couple of them are kind of huddled over here. Rudgar comes out, motions towards the chicken coop a couple times, and you hear something clatter off of the stone of the well. Glance back, and you see like a little pebble kind of falls. You kind of curious what's going on. As you go over, you see another one kind of comes and hits your leg. And like over here behind some trees, looks like you see someone, and they're like kind of hiding, and they're waving towards you and motioning you over.
No shit.
Wasn't that odd?
Okay.
Are you gonna go
So I'm just
over
going
to
to
her?
kind of. Well, so let me get this straight. So the person is over here somewhere, right?
Yep.
Can you see my arrow? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And did it seem like anybody else noticed it?
Nope. You look around, it doesn't seem like it.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna I'm gonna say I'm gonna go scout the perimeter, and I'm gonna casually, stroll out and kind of and look like I'm inspecting stuff. And then when I get over to about here, I'll see if I can see that person.
All right. So a bedraggled man limps out of the bushes.
Oh, bedraggled men are the worst.
Did anyone see you come over?
What are you doing out here, buddy?
Answer the question. Did anyone see you? These
don't
are
believe they did.
bastards. They killed my companions.
What's your name, buddy? Buddy boy. Oh, whoops, sorry. I was trying to get close to your character.
I'm Ferric.
Did you come out with these men originally?
Yes. They killed the others.
How'd you get away?
Ripped out their hearts. I fled in the night, and they attacked us all here in this very lodge.
They ripped out their hearts?
I think so. They're evil.
Why would they do that?
Beware, Rudgar. Come. We must flee quickly. Gather your friends.
All right. Sorry, I'm not laughing in front of them. I'm just laughing at myself. Yeah.
So
Everybody.
he's limping, and you can see like he looks like he has a pretty bad wound on his leg.
Now, just
Let's get out of here.
For a point of
Did you-
clarity, we
you
recognize
know
the
these
names
people?
of these guys, right?
Yep.
Okay.
What? Say that again.
You guys know the
We
names of the guys.
Oh, okay.
You didn't really
that's right.
talk to their families or anything, so you don't know anything about them. But
But I would have said when I said the prayer, I would have like recognized names and stuff, right?
yeah, and one of the names you said was Ferric, and this guy says he's Ferric. You didn't see any bodies; you just saw upturned earth, right?
Right.
They're cultists of
yes.
someone known as the Silent God.
The Silent God. Am I aware of the Silent God?
Good question.
Why don't you make a divine lore roll?
I would love to make a divine lore roll. Watch this and weep. This is how it's done, boys.
Total failure.
Boom. Success.
Nice. All right, so you it's like a forgotten god, and certainly not one of the ancient seven. The name is Olnek Sorg.
What?
Olnek Sorg, the silent god.
Oh, there it is. Okay. And I don't know much about him. Is that what you're saying?
There's
his
not a
name,
whole lot to know other than some kind of occasionally ancient cults creep up over these forgotten gods of who knows what, where they first came from, or anything like that.
All right. So I will explain to Ferric that
his path is madness, but some occasionally do gain power through reverence to these powers from beyond the veil. All right, what are you explaining to Ferric?
So I'm going to explain to Ferric that I can't just rush out of here. So I'm going to go back, consult with my friends, and we'll come out to this corner at some point, but I can't give him any more details than that.
All right, hurry. I can't wait for the chance to get back at these bastards.
And I'm going to ask him again. There's nobody else with you? You're all by yourself?
That's right. All the others are dead, as far as I know.
What do you know about the owl bear? Is he out here?
Yes, we all came out here seeking Big Beak.
But did you kill it?
No, not yet.
All right. Is it wounded? That
We
you're
didn't
aware
even
of?
we didn't even find it.
Oh, you've never found it. Oh, interesting. Aha. Okie dokie, Smokey. All right. Go hide.
Limps away. Hey.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue like circling the camp like I'm checking the perimeter so it doesn't look like I just like went to that corner and then walked back in. So I'm going to go all the way around the camp.
Okay.
And then I'll come back in and I'll kind of like, that was a pretty good perimeter check. I didn't really see anything, boys. I think I'm going to go, relax in the chicken coop.
What you did find is it looks like there has been a lot of wandering around this perimeter of the camp. Like, most likely you aren't the only person who's been looking around.
Oh, isn't that interesting? All right. So I'm going to
Ferric
go over to the chicken.
I can tell you what he looked like now. I found it. Powerfully built in his 20s. Serious leg injury. There you go.
All right. Okay, so I go into the chicken coop, and once I'm going to just check out I assume there's some sort of an opening or window here and see if anybody's listening into the chicken coop. And then I'm going to explain to Duchess what
I'm assuming Gedwin can be back by now as well after all that.
Yeah, all right. So I will explain to the two of them.
I should ask though, Gedwin, is there anything else? Is there any further searching you want to do, or do you feel that you have found everything?
Well, she was planning to go look in the smokehouse.
Oh, okay. Well, then you would go. Let's go over to the smokehouse after that. Is there anything Duchess wants to do before Tor arrives?
No.
Just sit in shame for being caught.
So the smokehouse is quite intact compared to the others, and it still functions as a smokery to preserve meat. A number of carcasses are hanging here for that purpose, and a slow fire burns in the kiln. There are no windows, and the door still operates. Looking around, you find one of the carcasses. Looks like it has like some jagged and hastily cut meat from it, which is unusual. No hunters are going to just like hack into something quickly like this unless they were in a hurry. Oh, I put Duchess in there. It's supposed to be Gedwin.
Damn it.
Anything else?
I'm just going to look at that a little bit more closely, and then again, look up, look down, just anything I can see.
Yeah, you spent some time in there, and that's pretty much the only strange thing that you notice.
Okay. All right. And then when I'm done with that, I'll return to the
All right, so
coop.
Everyone returns back to the coop. Coop Town Raiders, that's the name of your group.
Yeah.
And
It's in that song.
now what?
All right. So I'll explain Ferric.
Well, I didn't have much luck. So you go ahead.
I found Ferric is actually hanging out outside the camp.
What?
Yeah. He's not dead.
We thought he was dead.
Nope.
Do we know it's him?
I don't know.
Do you know him?
I don't know that it's him.
Then how do you know it's Ferric? He just told you his name, and you're like, yeah, that's Ferric.
Yeah, he told me his name. So anyway, somebody identifying as Ferric is out there. He's saying that these six people that are still here are following. I already forgot the name. The Silent God. They've joined up in some sort of weird cult. And they say he also said that they have not found the owl bear yet, and it's not wounded. They don't even know where it is. And
So does this Ferric know where it is then?
I didn't ask him that.
Oh, he did. You did actually. I mean, not to metagame. I'll shut up now.
Because maybe I don't remember. He said he did know where the owl bear was. I thought he
said they hadn't encountered it.
Right, so they don't know where it's at. I guess I was making
Right.
that. But they hadn't encountered it, so it's not wounded, because these guys have told us it's wounded, right? Didn't they say that?
Right, and that's not what. So what you're saying is that's not what happened to the rest of their party.
Well, I'm saying that's what Ferric is telling us. And who knows, maybe Ferric is telling us maybe these guys are hiding from the Silent God worshippers. So I don't know if he's throwing smoke or whatever. But he was beat up like hell.
And the supposed Ferric say what happened to the rest of the party?
Yeah, he said they were attacked by these six and they had their hearts torn out and tried to kill him, and he got away. Yeah, their hearts torn out.
Well,
sounds rough, right?
when I was searching the barn, I found a ceremonial knife hidden.
Like a heart removing sort of knife.
A fork-bladed knife of the sort that you might use to, say, pry open a set of ribs and cut out a heart.
That's crazy.
All right, so if Gedwin describes the knife to me, would that in my mind associate it with the Silent God from anything that I know?
No, not necessarily the Silent God, but definitely it certainly sounds like a knife used in rituals of that sort.
Okay. And so Ferric was like really beat up, right? Like he didn't look like he was in good. I mean, I know he had the big wound on his leg, but he seemed really beat up.
He seemed like he's been living out there, out on his own without shelter. But he also looks like he wouldn't be able to get very far with that wound in his leg.
He's not going to be any help.
No, but I'm trying to establish the veracity of his statements. Because if he was in good health saying this, then it'd be like, well, maybe you're trying to trick us. All right, so what do we think?
I think Duchess's question about how do we know it's ferric is a good one, except that again, I found a ceremonial knife.
Right. The evidence is piling up in Ferric's favor.
And showing up and just claiming to be somebody that you wouldn't otherwise know seems like it would be a odd deception.
Yeah, I should have asked.
So I lean towards believing him.
All right, well, that means we're in the middle of a cult, boys. And as a cultist, that's not a good thing. These guys sound kind of whacked out. This is an old god. Not one of the seven, not one of the respected seven.
We got some decisions to make. We could go ahead.
I was just going to say we could probably just, this probably isn't too well built. We could probably take a piece of the wall out here and just kind of sneak out if we wanted to. Or do you want to go back and take that knife?
I don't know that we need the knife. It's just evidence. We've got our own weapons.
Fair enough. It's pretty cool. It's just cool looking.
They outnumber us 2-1.
Correctamundo.
And it doesn't sound like Ferric's going to be much help.
Well, yeah, that's why
I'm just
Go ahead.
But if we just disappear, they're going to be suspicious. It's still like the middle of the day, right?
Afternoonish, probably.
Yeah, so I'm suggesting maybe wait until nighttime and then just sort of go out that back wall.
As the others seem to be talking, and Duchess is only mildly interested, apparently. Sounds like you can kind of hear like some murmuring and loud voices, like something's happening outside.
We go look outside.
You just open the door and walk out, or?
Oh, through the cracks of this super awesome solidified chicken coop.
So you see two of the guys seem to be dragging a limp corpse, or I shouldn't say limp corpse, a limp body with like, his hood is over his face and kind of tied up. And Aaron looks like he's like trying to look at the building to see if you guys are paying attention.
Run outside.
You just run out?
Yep.
All right, go ahead. What do you do?
Run up to these yahoos.
Well, this guy kind of moves over.
I'm coming with.
So you guys don't even know. Basically, Duchess didn't say anything, Hawk. She just like ran outside.
Something's going on.
Yeah, so this guy kind of, whoa, hold up. We got a wounded man here.
I may be able to help.
Scuttling over towards the
Edwin, Thor, may need some help.
Here's some people. These guys are like, what's happening? You guys can come out now if you'd like.
Yep.
You have an injured man?
Yes, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it.
Oh, let us, please. We need to take a look. Maybe we can help. We might have provisions.
We've got provisions. We're hunters.
Yes,
I can
thought
help.
your supplies may be low.
I'm a healer.
Yeah, cultist is probably not what you would say, because that sounds a little weird.
Thor is a cultist.
We're cultists too. We can all cult together. My oh my.
Well, I don't think it would be unusual to say I'm a cleric, so I guess I was like
healer. I like healer better.
A healer. All right, I'm a healer. I can help.
All right. As some sort of standoff is happening, I think we'll call it a session today.
Oh, you dick! You're such a dick, Hobbs.
Move.
Always with the cliffhangers.
Man, this guy.
That guy. Come on.
Good guy.
All right. So just for go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Just for point of clarification. So we had session 0, but would the part here where we're actually playing, would we call that session 1?
Up to you.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. We had a hard time keeping track of numbers last time.
I think we'll call it session 1. Yeah, we just wrap session 0 into session 1.
And since I can't see the title, remind me what we're calling the game. You got a
Chronicle
something
of the
something.
Cursed Axe.
Thank you.
So it's somebody at some point somebody's gonna get the axe.
Somebody's gonna hurt someone
With an axe. For the night is through. With an axe. All right, so let's wrap
Nothing
this
you
up.
can do.
About that axe.
Who is AWOL Trooper? Anybody know?
Yeah, he's a supporter of our show
He's called AWOL Trooper there too.
on our Discord.
Oh, dang. Well, thanks for being in here, AWOL Trooper. I'm not sure if I know who you are, but I appreciate you being around. Did you host it, Shauner? That's what's going on here.
It may have. I don't know. It's out of it's set. Well, it's set to do it automatically, so I would think it was.
We got some interesting people in the chat room. I usually don't call them out unless they say something. So sorry I wasn't involved with the AWOL Trooper. And Sean must have been so involved he didn't talk to you. Lots of times the players will, talk to the chat. But I can appreciate that. Oh, on Sean's podcast, I have my own podcast, AWOL Trooper. Anyway. Yes, Mark. Sean is a busy guy. So, Aaron, any thoughts on the system or anything else that you want to mention? Highs, lows, anything like that?
Thoughts on the system? I think that, and maybe this is just, but I mean, I've been playing D&D with my kid for the past year or year and a half or so.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's been about a year. This came to me quicker, so part of that could just be a little bit, additional experience, but I felt like I was up to speed a lot quicker with this.
Yeah, it does.
So that's a bonus.
It does have a 5e in some ways feel with heavier character generation up front, and just the way some things are added in. So any negatives that you want to mention or things we could do better, Aaron?
No, I'm pretty content with where we're at. I feel like we got started. I mean, I think the rule explaining up front is good. It depends on the person. I'm not good at retaining that. I got to kind of do stuff and to know what's going to happen next. But other people do like, I think like for Bird, that'd be his thing.
Yeah.
So
I think Bird will be
good.
joining us next week. Is that right, guys? We know.
I don't remember. He
Don't
threw
know
out a
his
lot of
schedule.
he threw out a lot of dates on there.
Yeah, so I don't know for sure. So Sean, what do you think? Oh, sorry.
Well, no, that's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, Sean. Highs,
Yeah, it's good.
Comments.
I played it before though.
Yeah. What do you think
my
of this
cat's
scenario?
driving me crazy.
Anything?
Yeah, no, it's good so far. I just want to know what's going on. So if you could just tell me, that'd be great. That'd be my only complaint. I don't know what's going on. All right, so tell me.
Can't you just tell us?
I mean, come on. Hell, Hobbs. Jesus.
Yeah, what's your deal, Hobbs?
What's your ups? What's your downs? What's your negatives? Well, I don't know. I don't know what the hell what's going on. You could probably divulge the plot a little bit, maybe.
Well, it's kind of a mystery, I think. But
jeez,
anyway,
I guess. Hey, do I look like Sherlock Holmes over here?
Let's move on from this goof. Hawk.
I really like the character sheet on Roll20.
Whoa, there's the bar.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't have that much experience on this stuff, and this character sheet's a lot better than what was the other system we were playing? Old School.
OSC wasn't bad. You've
Old
never
School
seen
Essentials.
some shitty.
Yes.
You haven't seen some shitty character sheets, Hawk.
No, and I probably haven't, and that's probably why this one seems impressive to me. But
at least it's like not losing the stuff after you put it in and kind of ghosting out like the OSC sheet was. Very integrated.
I was experiencing. Yeah, I experienced
helpful.
that a lot where it's like I'd enter something and then it would just disappear later on. So this seems better. So I like that. I like the game. You're the greatest DM ever, Hobbs. I've said that a million times and I'll keep saying it.
You've played like
that's always the way the conversation seems to go.
That's good. That's good. That's why I have these at the end, is just so I can hear you guys say how awesome. All right, so I guess I'm supposed to say something. Yes, we are playing low fantasy gaming, which I'm a pretty big fan of. Quite a few things in the system. Some things I don't like that much. Like I get disappointed by stat blocks of the monsters, but mostly because I like to be able to make monsters up on the fly, and when I'm playing OSE, I can just do that, and there's not a whole lot it can mess up with. You have like 3 or 4 things and maybe like a special thing. In this game, like when you roll a 19, something special happens in combat, and usually the monster should have something like that. Because the saving throws are integrated with ability scores, every monster has a whole ability stat line, which is, 20 characters, not a big deal, but to me that feels like a little heavier or more lifting up front for that stuff. I really like this scenario. I think this is kind of a cool scenario. I had 2 different ones I wanted to run for you guys. I either wanted to run this one, which is actually called Gift of the Silent God, or another one called Call of the Colossus. But the Call of the Colossus is actually like a funnel, similar to Dungeon Crawl Classics funnel concept, where everyone starts with 4 normal characters, not their 0 level characters, and they kind of die off, and the ones that you end up with are the ones that you end up playing become first level or something. No, this specific map is, I don't know who did the map. It's in the adventure. So Pickpocket Press does these things called adventure frameworks. He has 1 collected tome so far. So, and there's like 40 of them in here, I think. So far he has like 50 or 60 maybe. Some of them are free. Some of them come in the Midlands book. Some come in the Low Fantasy Gaming book, I believe. But they're just kind of like brief scenarios that could become more if you desired or not. And they're not like a full-fledged module. Like Gift of the Silent God is 9 pages long.
Oh, really?
There's a bunch of them on Drive-Through RPG that you can find. Hopefully none of these players will do that. And you can easily use these in any system. You don't have to, obviously the Low Fantasy Gaming is what the stat blocks are and stuff, but you could easily use these scenarios for any system. And many of them actually are tangentially tied into the Midlands setting, which is a pretty cool thing as far as I'm concerned. A lot of them seem to have a lot to do with cults and old gods, and we've just finished that with a town that is maybe overcome by the cult. And I mean, we just did that in Days of Lyncium, and that's part of the thing with Call of the Colossus. So that's why I didn't do that. And you'd already kind of made characters, and I didn't want you to have to not use those characters for anything. So what I would expect you to do maybe before next session for homework, you may want to like read the Gazetteer, which was actually made by a fan of the system, not the actual author. A lot of this information is picked out of the Midlands book itself, though. So, and maybe you could look in. Most likely, you guys are all Argosan, but you could have like a Gedwin. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Vornari, but not necessarily. And I like the idea. The monk class has always been something that I'm not a huge fan of. But in this system, it seems like maybe it works a little better, because you're always thinking of it being kind of Eastern culture, where the Midlands doesn't focus on Eastern cultures at all. So most likely you're going to have to come up with a way that the Western culture does it. And I really think that the exploits are a really cool thing, and that you can use grappling or throws or different things that you would really consider being a part of the monk, like unarmed martial arts, fit in with that system really easily without having a really difficult time of having all these different tables you're going into and locks and what's an arm bar and how does that fit in with what's going on. I just think the system does a good job of that. So it's called,
well, and I can, I mean, if you think about like with the monk component too, not most, but many ancient cultures have a martial arts component, whether it's the Greeks with grappling as a component and so on. And I think you could think of Gedwin as being, given that kind of her history now has her as a slave from early on, I can think of she may have been a Venari that was enslaved as a result of a battle, which is typically how that would happen. And then, maybe taken with her mother and taught, and certainly both Celts and Nordic peoples, if you've ever seen the 13th Warrior, you look at that group and they're a Viking group, but they're virtually a special forces team. They're the best of the best. And that's kind of what I'm picturing here. So I think maybe an enslaved Renari from like a border dispute, a village taken in a battle. That would make sense to me.
Not even in the Midlands themselves, right? Because this is just a map of the whole planet. Because the Varnori are from the north and the Nidisians are more from the south, but there are seas that you could have been brought without even being in the Midlands. It could have been like some other deal or whatever. And that's where Gedwin met Tor, is in the gladiator slave pits of Melek, which is cool. And I don't know. I think it's cool. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see how Bird fits into it, of course. And I'll definitely with him. We're just going to drop him in and drop him out when he shows up, or maybe we'll just kick him out completely. I don't know. We'll see. This game is really survivable, and you only 3 or 4 people is really the best, especially online as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff for it. I think that's it. I think we'll wrap it up. Thanks for being here, AWOL Trooper. I don't recall you being here before. Feel free to follow so you'll know when we'll be on. We'll run this every Sunday, approximately from 8 to noon. I'm hoping to have Edwin on later today to do Hobbs and Friends and talk about his new project with Frog God Games, the new Kickstarter they have going on. The
Midderlands.
The Midderlands 5e.
5e Midderlands.
Oh, so they're adapting Midderlands to 5e?
Yes.
Midderlands. This is not the same thing.
Yeah, not Midlands, not what we're playing now.
No, I know. I thought I said Did I not say Midderlands?
Well, we don't want you to mistake Midderlands for Midlands, even though you said Midderlands.
Okay. No, I know. I know what Midderlands is. Believe it or not.
Oh.
Which is weird, but yes.
I know. I actually
Glenn
bought
Seeley,
the book.
Monkey Blood Designs.
Yeah, I bought the book because I really like the guy's artwork. That's what drives a lot of my purchases. Is I like the artwork. So
Any award-winning cartography, I believe.
Yeah,
that's right.
Even his monster creations are kind of weird looking, and I really liked them.
Nice.
Look at that. He's got a fan and hawk.
That's right.
Yep. You can have a shitty product, but great art, and I'll buy it.
Hey, there you go. There's a market for it.
Which is not what you're saying here, right, Huck?
No. I'm not saying it's a shitty product. I'm just saying that's what drives a lot of what I purchase is the artwork.
All right. So, I'll see you guys at 8. We got a game on Thursday, right, Sean?
We do. Delta Green on the Gaming and BS channel.
Yeah, and we'll probably host it here as well. And
is that 8 p.m. Central?
It is.
It is.
Thursday. Be there, be square.
That's right.
I'll probably be square.
And then we got a Midland session on Saturday next week, 10/10 at 1 or 2 p.m., I think. And I think that's all I got scheduled for right now, y'all.
Oh.
We'll see.
Oh.
Yeah, stay strong and stay safe. It's better to burn out than to fade away.